Want to know if I can be heard. How to test this mic. Now, if you're hearing me, somebody let me know that I can be heard. Good test. All right. Great. I can be heard. I can be heard. Well, first things first. What are you drinking on out there? Before we even get started. See, I got 25 likes already. We good. What's being sipped on this Friday night? All right. Mutiny on the Bounty, what's happening? Lamar Hutnall, Kwame Triple X, Demi Migto, Dre Raphael, what's happening? Distilled vodka, huh? Let's see who else we got in here. Got to do a little roll call first. It says 99 something. Kool-Aid, huh? I see you, Lamar. I see you. Definitely Roy therapy session for sure. Johnny Walker, huh? Okay. I'm gonna display what I got. This is Douce. What up, G Ryan? This is Douce. That's what I got going on. Says I'm God of the red pill, huh? Appreciate the compliment. G Ryan, Terrence, Mr. Amazing, what's happening? Brian Bourne, what's good? Definitely therapy. Albert Smith, Luna Monet, shout out to you. Baby girl, cheers. Robinson Dumzell, what's happening? Now, as you come in, hit that like button. 95 watching so far. Let me go ahead on and get them likes. 44 likes, but 98 watching. As we climb in numbers, I want to climb in likes. And right off the back, Kwame Triple X with the 1999 super chat saying it's Black Ram. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate that super chat. What up, Lex? Devin Dude. T3000. What up, Saul? Good to see you, bro. We're going to get started in a minute with the topics, the random thoughts over cognac number 4, the 4th installment. We're going to wait till we get about 150. I think I'm good for at least 150 tonight. People probably out doing their thing, but I think I'm good for about 150. So we'll see what's up. Eric James, what's happening? Vincent Sullivan, Big E, what's up? And GD Tate, what's good, bro? JD, I'm sorry. JD Tate. Damian France said, Big bro, you changed my life. Man, that's what I'm here for, bro. Michael L, what's happening, bro? Flex Judah, what's happening? Michael Danley with the super chat. Appreciate you, fam. He says, Master Ram, I'm here. Sensei hashtag IBMOR. Salute. What up, C Merch? Got my mod in here. Good to see you, C Merch. Yeah, I got a little, trying to be a little clean. You dig? Got a little, little shape up on the bed. You dig? I only do this for this type of video because we got to do the check, just so you can verify what I got. Brian Bourne, 999. Respect to you also, fam. Appreciate that. Now, as you come into the chat room, this is Random Thoughts Over Cognac. So that means let me know what you're sipping on tonight. Simply Deep. What's up, brother? I have 133 watching. As you come into the stream, hit the like button when we get to about 150. Then we're going to go on with it. And then when I get to maybe 100 likes, then I'll probably start. King Malik. with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate that. It's a good night already. Even had my little daughter stop by, so we good. Crown Apple, huh? Eric James, I'm a true player. Man, that's an awesome compliment. Where I'm coming from, that's the greatest compliment you can give a man. Where I'm from, K-Town, West Side, the best compliment you can give a man is to say that he's a true player. So Eric James, salute to you, brother. Salute. That's an awesome compliment where I'm from. All right, who else we got in here? 99 grapples, you say, huh? Alabama, huh? I see you more, Joey. Oh, man. It's good to see you too, Joel. Good to see you too. Eric Quick. It says Psych Shea Soap. I think that's the name. David King, Mr. Amazing, sipping some Kraken. Oh, yeah, I heard of that. Fast Attack Tough. Man, bro, I ain't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Fast Attack Tough. Good to see you. My man. We got 141 watching. So when we get up to a certain number, I'm going to start. But while we get people in here, I'm going to talk about a couple of topics. Mr. Plex, what's happening, man? You got some water, huh? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I got my water, too. I see you, Mito Savior. I see you. Good to see all my brothers in here. At 92 likes. When we get to 100, then we're going to kick it off. Raymond Jackson with the super chat. Oh, man. These super chats are coming early, man. I appreciate that. I just came back from Papa Do's, sipping on some. I hear you, Eric. Sipping on some gin, huh? Another check real quick. Marcos, what's happening? Do say. And La Coca-Cola. Do say and La Coca-Cola. Vancouver guy says, let me pour you a super rare 15-year-old barrel bourbon. Ah, bourbon, huh? Burn a hole in your chest. Matthew says, holy shit, I never seen your face until now. I did this before. The series, Thoughts Over Cognac, I'll always show my face. Always. At least for a few minutes, anyway. Wayman Brown says, looking forward to this one, Ram. Appreciate you being in here, Wayman Brown. An up-and-coming YouTuber, Wayman Brown. Black Mullet 40 with the super chat. Appreciate you. Migto Savior. Appreciate that super chat. Anthony Dunlap. Yes, I am from the Shy West Side, certified, as El Guapo just said. Jay Smizzo with the super chat. Appreciate it. We're going to get into the little game, man. So we now have 151 watching. And we have 99 likes. One more like, and then we'll start the conversation. And soon I'll be turning this camera off. So cheers to everybody out there. Says Black Ram is the illest there is when it comes to this red pill game. Daniel Tova, shout out to you, brother. Fast Attack Tough. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, Anthony. So let's get into a little current event topic. We got 157 watching, 111 likes. Thank you all for the likes. Thank you all for the super chat. What up, Rick Scorpio? The OG in the building, the OG of this game. Rick Scorpio is one of the originators of this type of YouTube content. So shout out and cheers to you, brother Rick. Always good to see you in the place. Rick laid the groundwork. Before there was a Black Ram 313, there was a Rick Scorpio. Shout out to him. Charles Merchant, appreciate you, brother. He says, here's my like. Let's get it, brother Ram. Appreciate that, brother. Charles Merchant. Adrian Thomas with the super chat. Appreciate you. And Psych Soap, aka Schizo Madcap, with the super chat says, blow some minds, make it a good one. I will try my best, sir. Terrence with the super chat. Appreciate you. So real quick, before we get into the substance of these random thoughts, Nicki Minaj got back with an ex-boyfriend. You all heard about that? Got back with an ex of hers. They say the brother had a nice little criminal past. Ben Yosef says, shout out from the Philippines. Appreciate you, Ben Yosef. So Nicki Minaj is dating a guy from her past. I think she dated this guy when she was like 16. What up, Jalen? And she back with him. The brother BOA did a video about that. Solo TV 84 did a video about that. And Thinking Man's Templar. Appreciate that, Mr. Old School Rider. Appreciate that. And so Ram looks like a pimp. Yes, sir. Certified OG. Check it out. So Nicki Minaj with an ex-boyfriend. She's 36 years old now. Back with her high school sweetheart, I guess you can say. I guess dude is thugged out. I ain't knocking nobody's hustle, knocking what nobody do, man. But like I said, a couple of the homies did great videos about it. And what we see with any succubi is the same thing being played out. I mean, essentially, Nicki Minaj is Trina. If you're familiar about my story. Blueface Q with the super chat says, try to help a little. Appreciate that super chat, Blueface. So it's like this. She's Trina. And this is what's going to happen, right? She only 36 years old. Past the wall. But this won't be her first rodeo. She's going to probably lead this guy. And then next thing you know, she's going to be with some guy maybe 10, 15 years younger than her. Just watch. What up, War Secrets? Just watch. So she is Trina. Nicki Minaj is Trina. And she's going to run the same pattern that your typical succubi runs. You know how it go when they're young. They thug on them. Then when they get a little older, they want a beta male orbital or beta male simp. And then as they get older, their how can I say it? Their market value plummets greatly. Devin Dude with the super chat. Appreciate that. Darius M. He says, I'm live right now, brother. Great to see your face. Appreciate you, Darius, for jumping on real quick with me, man. Appreciate that. So let me ask you guys a couple of questions real quick before we really get into this show. Evil Shaggy, huh? That's what you're on, huh? I ain't mad at you. Nicki Minaj, and of course she's been beefing with Cardi B. I don't know how it started. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I got a survey question for you. First question is, who's the better MC, Cardi B or Nicki Minaj? So I want you all to put that in the chat. So that's going to be the first one. Then I got a second one. GMS Day and Night, Shalom. Black Shaggy, what's up, brother? Male Enlightenment TV, my brother Ohim, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man, with the super chat. Let me see what you said real quick. It says, Black Ram, much love, my dude. I will be back with you shortly. The wall is real. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So far with the Bad MC first, I guess we got a lot of Nickies in here. All right. So everybody believe that Nicki Minaj is the better MC. Coalition, zip it. We'll talk about that toward the end. When I get through my random thoughts, I'll open it up for questions and answers about anything you want to talk about, relationship questions, questions about the game, the red pill, whatever. Michael S. says, Cardi need more material, but I'm going to give Nicki hers. All right, so most people saying Nicki Minaj is the better MC. So here go my second question. Somebody said they both all whack. My second question is, who's prettier, Nicki Minaj or Cardi B? Who's prettier? What up, Roger Spice? Who's prettier, Nicki or Cardi B? I'm going to cast my vote for the better MC being Nicki Minaj, and I'm going to cast my vote for Nicki Minaj being the prettier one. Just a little opener before I turn off this monitor. Okay, most people, I see a few Cardi B's in there. Man, it looked like the survey is about even. Be blessed says neither. You got to pick one, man. Gotta pick at least one, brother. Said naturally Nicki, but Cardi got them lips. Yeah, man. Nicki by far. Yeah, I'm gonna go on and call it for Nicki Minaj. She wins. Does Cardi all the way? You sure it makes sense? Cardi B is like the generic brand. Wow. But I bet none of you guys will kick any one of them out of the bed. Alpha Stunner with the super chat. He says, what up, Ram? Watching from Milwaukee. Appreciate that super chat, brother. And you say, appreciate the content and therapy. Appreciate the super chat, brother. And salute to you, Alpha Stunner. I'm going to get ready to get into the material. So I guess we can say from the survey, Conscious Malik says, one love, brother Ram. Salute to you, fam. Appreciate the super chat. So listen, I guess we can say with this quick little survey that Nicki Minaj, according to you guys, is the prettier, and she's also the more skilled MC. I got you. Says Joel says, rumor going around that Cardi is ooh, that would be tough, man. Yeah, you can never know these days, bro. Never know. It's rough out here, man. Let me get to some more of these super chats real quick before we get into the material. Theo the Ray J with a nice super chat. Appreciate you, brother. And Harambe, appreciate that super chat, fam. He says, watching before I hit these ATL streets, my man. Hey, Humber, you going to some clubs? Where you going, man? What you going to be sipping on? Keenan Harris, salute to you, fam. Salute, Keenan. Salute, Harambe. Where you going, bro? It's Friday night. You hitting the street. Got to have a little water, too, man. Final check. Tired of showing my ugly mug. Tackman Clan Killer says, thanks for all your hard work, Black Ram. MJG Jr. I appreciate that, Tackman. Appreciate that. A spot called Opium. Okay, my man. My man. What up, King Sigma? Oh, that's a raw question right there. China White, what's happening? That was a great live stream you did earlier, China White. Matter of fact, before I get into this material, I heard from a live stream that Book of Alpharonomy and China White did earlier, I heard some of the coldest game ever, man. Let me tell you what China White said. China White exemplifies what a lady should be. And I'm going to mention this real quick. So Sackman said I'm the innocent version of R. Kelly. Silas D says, Miami in the house. Appreciate the super chat, fam. But let me tell you what China White said. And it's like, man, this is the type of woman that every decent man, every red pill man deserves. Dre Henley, appreciate the super chat, brother. Says, to the best therapist in the manosphere, I'd like to say thank you for being my therapist. The pleasure is mine, Dre. Dre Henley with the super chat. Appreciate you. So China White in Book of Alpharonomy did a live stream earlier. And China White said this, man. It was cold. And China White is certifiable. China White said that she doesn't need a brain. China White said that her man is her brain. And I said, man, I almost dropped the phone because I was watching on the phone, riding in the car. I almost dropped my damn cell phone because that's so righteous, man. Basically, she's saying that her husband's thoughts are her thoughts. Her identity is her husband's identity. That's the way a woman should think, a woman should feel, a woman should talk, the way a woman should represent her man. China White said that her thoughts are her husband's thoughts. Man, the beauty behind that statement, man, I've never heard a woman say such a thing. So salute to you, China White. Christian Murphy with the super chat. Appreciate you. This one right here for you, China White. Yeah, China White, you have sisters, cousins. We need that in our lives. And she says that she's so into her man that her man is like a god to her. And that's some real stuff. Keith X says China White is a real woman. Yes. So here go the thing. We talk about thoughts all the time. We talk about what we don't like. We talk about this and that. But I'm going to take a little second to just shout out China White for being the woman that most men would love to have on their arm. Your husband is a blessed man. Her husband listened to this channel, BOA's channel, so that's a beautiful thing. She's here because her husband gives her permission to be here. Isn't that nice? So you might say, hey, why is China White, on the live stream, with all these guys? That's because her husband gave her permission. Beautiful. Beautiful. So that's the way a woman should be. Her thoughts are her man's thoughts. She's on one accord with him, one flesh with him, and of the same mind. And let me tell you the funny thing about that. Our Hop, 222,000 says, thank you for helping me rediscover my manpower. And let me tell you something about that. Your average succubi, right? Now she'll go on the job, and on the job, she'll have the same mind as her supervisor. The same succubi will go on social media and have the same mind on what's trending. The same succubi will completely, with her brain, mimic the culture, being on one accord with whatever the dominant society says should or shouldn't be, what is and what isn't. But this woman, China White, had the audacity, which is a beautiful thing, the bravery, the humility. That's the thing. She had the humility to submit herself and bow herself to her husband, saying that her husband's mind is her mind. What up, JD? What up, bro? Good to see you in here, bro. My brother from the west side, from Cape Town, John Phillips, aka John Doe Productions. What up with you, bro? Good to see you here on this live stream, man. So China White has the mind of her man. So we just have to, I just want to think about that for a minute. That you do have women out there. And let me say this, I hope this ain't too putting your business out there too much, China White. But China White has only been with her guy. Now, see, this is the thing. This is the thing. When the woman has only been with one man and continues to be with that same man, that imprint, that closeness, that pair bonding, what a relationship really should be, then it gets the time that that man's soul and spirit gets to sink into her. And when his mind and soul get to sink into that woman, she can regurgitate who she is and be a reflection of him perfectly. He's the sun, she's the moon. And as the moon reflects the sun, so should a wife reflect her husband. Now, in the Western world, in today's society, the succubi especially, they reject this. She said, I want my own mind. I don't want to be a robot. Well, listen here. You got a choice. Either you're going to reflect the larger society and their ways of thinking and who they are and what they are. In other words, the culture. Either your mind's going to be a reflection of the culture or your mind's going to be a reflection of your man whose mind may be opposite of the culture. She's with an Israelite man. His mind reflects Israelite culture. So she reflects Israelite culture. When I'm dealing with a woman, if she can't reflect me and my culture, then she's not a reflection of me, period. She ain't mine then. So that's the thing, gentlemen. You do have a rare gem in China White who's only been with one man, who's a reflection of a man, but that's just the power. She walks lock in step with her guy. And this is the thing. This is why when we date, we try to date women with smaller body count as possible, number one. And then we try to get them as young as possible, number two. Therefore, you can imprint, you can put your soul and your mind and your spirit in her. And what you get back out is reflection of you. Now, here go the caveat here. If you're not reflecting something great, if you are nobody, if you have no greatness within yourself, then there's nothing for her to reflect. If you are a reflection of the culture, she can just go and get all her ideas off television and social media. But if you are somebody's different, that's different, somebody that's awakened, aware, then you can be a reflection. Otherwise, you can't see yourself in her. Black Uhuru speaks as this is it says it's Black Ram or Ice Cube. This is Black Ram, brother. But yeah, appreciate the super chat, bro. So yeah, you want her to be a reflection of you. And you want that template. You want that slate to be clean. Appreciate the super chat. But I'll be great is the name. Appreciate that. So that's the thing, man. China White is a reflection of a guy, and that's the benefit of him getting him young, being the first, and being the one and only, imprinting. What up, Jamal? Appreciate you. So we're gonna get into a few things, man. Fusion Flares in the building. How many likes we got? Now hold on, gentlemen. I got 306 watching, 160 likes. This let me get at least 30 more, man. JD said random thoughts over cognac. Yes, sir. This is Douce and a little Coke. And this right here is the H2O. Gotta have the H2O. Birth of the cool, so I'm looking like a schoolboy. Appreciate that. All right, we got 187 likes. My man. All right. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about China White, man, that she is a woman that's a reflection of her guy. And China White is always welcome in this chat room. Good to have her here. Now, since we super chatting, let me do something real quick. This is the best way right here to donate. I'm going to put that up. That's the best way to donate with the PayPal. Appreciate that, China White, with the super chat. Much appreciated. And check out China White's channel too, man. She kicking some real game. If you want to hear the voice of a beautiful woman who loves her husband and serves her husband and see what that looks like on this side of living, to see what that's like in this country in Babylon, check out China White's channel. Appreciate that. Stefan, appreciate the super chat. Kitty Candy, what's happening? The guy from the 6, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. But Aubrey Gray says, you are my first YouTuber. Thank you for starting of my red pill mission. The pleasure is mine, brother. Absolutely. Andre Drake, my guy, put me on the BOA. Absolutely. Yep. So let's get into the meat of this conversation. Last check, and if you're just coming in, let me know what you're drinking. We're about to get started. Do say H2O. And we're about to get into it. Chavaris, what's happening, bro? Absolutely. I like that scripture, Conscious Malak. Appreciate that. The man is the sun and his woman is the moon that reflects the light. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Andre said I'm at work. Water. Wisers. Okay. Guy from the 6. Pink lemonade. My man. Hot dog water. Oh, no. Not the hot dog water. New LeBlanc said, what happened to the dreads? Oh, man, let me show you what happened to the dreads. I'm going to show you in real quick, a quick second. Sean M says, cheers, bro. Keep up the good work. But I'll be great with another super chat. Let me tell you what happened to the dreads. Let me see. Thinning, it was taking place. And when thinning takes place, I didn't want to be that guy with dreadlocks all around the side, thick, and all of that, and nothing at the top. So it was time to go back and try to brush a wave in, go back, to how things used to be. I had dreads for about 10 years, maybe a little bit over 10 years. In fact, that was my second set of dreadlocks. But the hair got long, man, past my elbows, past my belly button, and washing it is heavy and it starts to pull on your hair and thin you out at the top. And then I'm, getting a little bald, man. I'm getting a little older. So, yeah, the dreads had to go. Dreadlocks had to go. All right, what else we got going on here? Yep. So we're gonna go on and get started. I'm gonna go on and turn this camera off, man. Says what's my opinion of Nicole Michelle? I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard the name before, but I'm not even sure who that is. Not sure. Lamar said waves never play out. Man, I'm trying to get this 360 going. Trying to get that 360. Yeah, I got a little something at the top, guy from the 6. Not much though, man. Not much. Theo the Ray J. I appreciate you subscribing to China White. Is she somebody to check out, Dre Raphael? Should I check out Nicole Michelle? Who is she? Is she a singer or a YouTuber or something like that? Kitty Candy, what did you say? It's a lot of comments, Kitty Candy. What you got to say? Holla at me. I hope Kitty Candy is a female. Even Shaggy said, keep brushing. Will do. Says beets, carrot, celery, and kiwi. NutriBullet. Is that the hair growth formula? Okay. I'll have to check Nicole Michelle out. You know I don't listen to too many ladies on the tube. What up, Black Ace? No, I don't listen to too many ladies on the tube. The Velvet Do-Rags? Is Velvet Do-Rags really better than the more silky textured do-rags? Solo TV 84 in the building. What up, Solo? Good to have you, fam. Hey, Solo, what you drinking on, man? This is Random Thoughts Over Cognac, man. Don't come in here without your drink, brother. Just Lawrence says, thank you for the super chat, brother. Says, you don't even understand, big brother, how much your vids helped me and my cousin recover from our previous relationship. And that's why I do it, Just. I do it for people like you who actually want to hear this stuff, who need to hear it, man, who want to chop it up and talk about the affairs of the heart, which a lot of people don't want to do. You are the reason why I'm here, and I appreciate that you appreciate the content. And most high willing, I'll keep this going as long as I can in these mean YouTube streets. But I might check out. If y'all saying Nicole Michelle is decent, I might have to check out. I'll see what's up. GMS, Ancient of Days, says, Black Ram, this internet is a blessing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's almost that time, GMS, Ancient of Days, that Mark will be out soon, right? That RFID chip, right? Young Foley. Kitty Candy says, you make many videos about MGTOW stuff, and I want to stand up for, wait a minute, let me see what you're saying. Let me see what you're saying, Kitty Cat. Let me go back to your comment. Hold on now. These comments are going fast. I'm about to slow it down. Kitty Candy said he made a response video. Let me catch this comment real quick and read it to you all. 1 second, peoples. Trying to see what Kitty Candy said. I missed it. Says you make videos about MGTOW and stuff, and I want to stand up for marriage, equal men's, and women's rights. This really isn't a MGTOW channel. I believe in relationships, not legal marriage, of course. Darrell Peel with the super chat says, have you ever talked about mothers who think their son is daddy and husband? Yes, I have. And I do plan on talking about that a little bit more, brother. Legal marriage is not an Israelite thing. But if you're talking about men and women being together, I ain't got nothing wrong with that. The stance on my channel is that men deal with women from a position of strength and in rulership. Nothing wrong with a man being with a woman as long as that woman is in obedience. Mr. Ibmore, 47, says, Brother Ram, Shalom, my Israelite brother. Shalom, Yahweh Echad. So we got 350 watching. Let me go on and get into this. So Kitty Candy, hope I answer your question. As long as that woman is submissive, believe in a man and woman being together, as long as she's in her proper place, and no legal marriage though. We don't do that stuff over here. We don't do that over here, Kitty Candy. All right. All right, let's get started. Now let me turn this camera off so I can kick a little game in your ears. Let me see how I do this thing. Prophet of Thought series. Salute, fam. Thinking Man's Templar. I see you. Appreciate you, brother. Got my brothers in here. Prophet of Thought and Thinking Man's Templar. Good to see you brothers in here. Done work with O'Shea Duke? Who's done work with O'Shea Duke? I have. O'Shea Duke is the man of the manosphere. Of course, I've done work with O'Shea the Great. All right. So look like Marvin Gaye. That's a compliment. Appreciate that, bro. I'm trying to get into these this information, man. I keep getting these super chats, man, and want to answer questions. I guess I have to get to that toward the end. Let me start this thing up. Young Foley, keep elevating the message. You the truth, bro. Man, thanks for all the love in the building. Let me get to this game, man. Let me shut this camera off. My ugly mug. Get that avatar up there so we can kick this off. All right. Let's get it started. Get one more sip. Now let's get into it, gentlemen. Let's go. We are over 30 minutes in, and I still haven't started with the material, man. A lot of, if you're watching the replay, forgive me. But this is what live streams are all about. Let's get into some game. So first up, I'd like to welcome you guys to Random Thoughts over Cognac number 4. So here's the introduction. Black Ram 313 back at it again, live. You know why? It's because this is therapeutic, man. So let's chop this game up. Again, Random Thoughts over Cognac number 4, 351 watching, 251 likes. Get them likes up for me, family. And let's get into it. Now, the first thought. Dante Neal said, I don't know why I thought Black Ram had dreadlocks and sandals. Dreadlocks and sandals, huh? My man. So let's start with this. And let me do this PayPal shout out. Appreciate the PayPal donations. Ed Wilkerson gave me a nice little PayPal. And that is the best way to donate. Right here, PayPal link. As we go on, I'll try to put that in there a few times. Again, that is the best way to go about it. Now, first thought, and it's a thought that I've had often. I don't think I've expounded on it too much. But my first thought, I believe that there is a spiritual reason as to why today's woman, well, even any woman, even from the past, why they like the bad boy, why they enjoy that which is evil in a man, why they choose to deal with men that are full of problems and issues and criminality and vice and so on and so forth. I believe it's a spiritual reason why nice guys finish last. And why does she even pick the bad boy? Appreciate you, Justin Davis. Why does she even pick the bad boy? And we know she does, but why? And if she doesn't pick the bad boy, she picks the rich man. But rich is rare. You know, most guys, you know, can't afford a Lamborghini. So, you know, that's only what, maybe 5% of men on the planet. But not everybody can afford the Lambo. So, yeah, she picks the rich man if she can, but mainly the bad boy, not just the bad boy. Dirty thug a lot of the times. And I ain't knocking nobody's hustle, man. I ain't, you know, ain't no jealousy or nothing like that. But she picks the bad boy almost exclusively, especially when she's younger. And again, there is a spiritual reason behind that. When I mean bad boy, I mean mainly the street pharmacist, thuggo, the violent, Men who really exaggerate their masculinity. The guy who can't pull his pants up most of the time. Guys with a background, and I'm not saying that's automatically disqualifies a guy because he got a background, but these are the guys that she's mostly attracted to. And then you have the second kind of guy who's lazy, shiftless, not really doing much with his life. That type of guy. But when she sees a hardworking guy, the guy with maybe the 7 and 8 year old Toyota Camry, the guy who worked hard in school, maybe not make a whole lot of money, but he does well for himself, so to speak. He got a car, got his own place, all that good stuff. For some reason, she thinks that's disgusting. For some reason. Evil Shaggy, calm down with that rhetoric, man. You're gonna have to get somebody to block you up in here, man, with that kind of rhetoric. Cut it out. But so she likes the bad boy. And instead of the decent, honest, hardworking, intelligent guy, he's looked over time and time again. Now, the good guy, he's told when he's young, hey, just work hard, keep going to school, get good grades, work hard, and you'll find you a nice woman. Do all of those things. Stay out of trouble. Keep your nose clean. That's the rhetoric, right? That's what we hear. But when he does that, he's chosen last. He's the beta male simp position, the one that the thought marries when she's had her time in the sun having fun riding the carousel. So she picks this guy only when it's too late, and sometimes not even then. He still gets cheated on with the young dirty thug. And the reason why I think that the bad boy gets the attention is the preference is because the female, she's a reflection of the world, a reflection of the culture, a reflection of, speaking of the succubi, that which is evil. So here's the thing. The bad guy is pretty much rewarded with the attention of a beautiful woman, almost like a trap or an incentive to keep his mind in that mindset of criminality or whatever that he's doing that's destructive, to keep his mind there. What up, O'Shea Duke? Appreciate you, bro. Got my man O'Shea in here. Good to see you, O'Shea. I think O'Shea is one of the greatest YouTubers ever born. Salute to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Always good to see you, fam. So the bad guy seems to get rewarded. It's like the world rewards evil. Because the world, you have to understand, the vibration of the world is in a negative, always a negative. That's why positive things are hard to happen, negative things are easy to happen. This world is in the, how can I say it, in the negative aspect. So it's almost like being the bad guy has to be rewarded. And I believe that the succubi is Satan's little thought. And he gives her to the guys that are destructive. And I think that's their reward. I think that's the spiritual reason why. And also to take your mind away from the Most High, to keep your mind off on the material, because she, the succubi, is 100% materialistic, 100% worldly, and evil through and through. So I believe that's the spiritual reason why bad guys always do great with the ladies. That's why trap star Bango, Satan's little thought. That is the succubus. Satan's little thought. So yeah, man, to keep your mind off of the on the material instead of on the spiritual, to keep the man's mind in that negative vibe, to keep that man's mind on the temporal instead of the eternal. I believe again that the thought is the reward. The beautiful woman is the reward for the bad man, the guy who's self-destructive, the one who's destructive to his own community and such. I believe that she is Satan's little thought and she is his reward. So that's the first thought. Moving along, we got 402 watching, 275 likes. Push those likes up for me, brethren. Super MGTOW, what's happening, bro? So that's the first thought. Anybody got any comments on that before I move along to the second one? And the second thought is, since we don't have anybody saying anything, the second thought, have you ever just sat back and said, wow, man, it's good to be a man. I am Aaron is in the building. Salute to my brother. I am Aaron, formerly known as I am Baal. Appreciate you being here, brother. Been rotating with that guy for many years, as well as O'Shea Duke Jackson in the building. All right. So yeah, the second thought, man, have you ever just sat back and thought to yourself that, man, it's just good to be a guy. Just good to be a guy. No, there's reasons why you should be thankful. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from females. They are beautiful. In fact, let's be honest, gentlemen, this is therapy, right? What is the number one rule in therapy? Let me hear you guys say it in the chat. I'm going to give you a second. Give you a second to say it in the chat. What's the number one rule in therapy? What's the number one rule in therapy? Somebody got to know it. Honesty. There you go. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. No lying in therapy. There we go. Somebody got to be familiar with this channel out there. No lying in therapy. There we go. So since there's no lying in therapy, let's just be brutally honest here. Females are beautiful. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, just their beauty, their grace. Sometimes when you get a feminine one, of course. Listen, as a man, there is nothing more satisfying than being with a woman. Anybody disagree? If you disagree, put number 2 in the chat if you disagree. Number 2, if you disagree, in the chat. Because we being honest, this is therapy, right? Now listen, sunsets are nice. Flowers are nice. Mountains are nice. But a beautiful woman, that is something different right there. I'm not talking about the succubi now. See, we got to keep things in context. Ethos 13, I see you, brother. Let's keep things in context. I'm not talking about the succubi. Just for her beauty, a beautiful woman. Just for her beauty. Nothing more beautiful than that, right? The most beautiful creature on the earth, right? You got to admit that. So one of the reasons why I'm glad to be a man, because I get to appreciate that. I get to appreciate the beauty of the woman. Frank Migto, you're right. Beauty is only skin deep. But for the deepness that it is a beautiful thing. Good to see you in here, Frank. But it's a beautiful thing, though. Give them their props. Women are beautiful. Of course. Age of Machines with the super chat says, got my chai tea on this cold, wet night. Black Ram speaking truth about my experiences. Much appreciated. And I appreciate you, sir. So yeah, man. Women are beautiful. I'm sure us have had that experience, man, with beautiful women. There's not much that feels greater. Not much at all that feels greater. Am I lying about that? Can't be, right? Can't be. What? Okay, so if the people who said that their women aren't the most beautiful, give me something that's more beautiful. I'm talking about aesthetically now. I'm not talking about marriage and all that. Aesthetically speaking, food, sleep, and a beautiful new woman. Ain't nothing ever prettier than new, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I appreciate a woman's essence, man. I appreciate her beauty. Remember, have you guys let's get real here for a minute. What up, Ducati Roddy? Let's get for real. Have you guys in here ever been in love? Has it ever happened to you? If you've been in love before, number one in the chat. And if you haven't experienced that, man, it's an experience like no other. Let me see what we got in the chat. Number one in the chat, if you've experienced loving a woman before. David Somerville, right, my man. So a lot of you guys are familiar with that. Now, that feeling of euphoria, having that crush on a woman when you were in school, having that desire, that burning desire, man, seeing her face, seeing her teeth, seeing her lips, a beautiful woman, man. Now, remember how your heart felt. Remember the flutters in your chest around that beautiful woman. Now, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad to be a man. Because that's an experience, man, that I think everybody should have at least once. Now, it may hurt when it's over with, but it's a beautiful feeling. Cash over everything, but Brandon D, I get that. But here's the thing with cash over everything. A lot of guys want the cash for what? For her, right? Here's how it goes. She wants you, right? No, I'm sorry. You want her. Run that back. You want her and she wants the money. You love her and she loves what? Things, right? We got to be real now. I'm just trying to keep it real here. But my point is that there's nothing more beautiful than a woman, and being a man, you get to appreciate that. And I'm not talking about the succubus, man. You see the succubus coming, you smell her first. And I know you don't want to be involved with that. I got a quote here about just being a man, because this is what I'm talking about right now for this random thought. So this is something deep I'm going to share. And this is from my brother, Adigoon Forrest. If you guys are familiar with Adigoon, well, no, ain't no if. You guys should be familiar with Adigoon. So I'm going to read one of his famous quotes. And tell me what you think about this, guys. Adigoon quotes and says, "You should be grateful that you were born male. Think about it. You don't have the animal compulsion to reproduce pointlessly. You don't need drama or conflict to be happy. You're even superior on a moral level because you'll never go and seek out to become a parasite, someone that receives child support, alimony. You're fine with working for what you want the honest way. And while it's often ignored, only a man can truly mature and become enlightened. This is why there are also no female monks. So be grateful that you're male. You're the light of this world." Very, very introspective, very, very deep saying by my brother Adigon Forrest. And let me shout out this PayPal donation. The name is Sunrise. Sent me a nice little super chat. Let me see who else. Not super chat, I'm sorry. PayPal donation, which is the best way to donate. And the second one is, let me see, DeFrederick sent me a PayPal, and it says, "My brother from another mother, Mr. Therapeutic himself. I appreciate all you do, fam, doing your thing. All praise to the Most High. God, knowledge, and wisdom. Much love." Thank you, DeFrederick, for that super chat. Here's a PayPal link right here, which is the best way to donate. So, Adigon Forrest, right? Excellent, excellent statement. So much so that I had to mention that. He talked about in this short quote that you don't pointlessly want to reproduce. The thing that stuck out to me the most about this is that you are the only creature that actually can become mature and enlightened. Kwame Triple X says, "Bro Ram, would you buy 6 or 9, or buy 6 or rent 9. I don't know what you mean by buy 6 or rent 9, but let me know what you mean. Now I'm gonna get into some questions and answers toward the end. So, as a man, one of the premium things, or one of the greatest things about being a man, is that you have an appreciation for certain things that the others can't. You can simply become enlightened. You can become content. You can seek things that's other than the material and the physical. Just if you want to go to Idigon Forrest's page, just type in his name. Roger Spice got the his name corrected. Now you just throw that in there and you go to his channel. But you can become enlightened, man. There's things that you can do. You don't have to worry about cramps and mood swings and bloody undies. You don't have to worry about being obsessed with hair and foodie and shoes and purses and clothes and spontaneous crying and all those other things. Yeah, sure, as a man, we get treated like crap socially, of course. But we don't go through the vast body changes as they do. And we can become enlightened. So the following will be 5 reasons why I'm glad to be a guy. Glad. As opposed to something else, right? Number 1, strength and endurance, man. You can defend yourself. You're self-reliant. She is not self-reliant. She's 100% dependent on someone else, especially when she's pregnant, right? Your testosterone makes you a powerful physical force to be reckoned with, right? And you can be predator instead of preyed upon, right? Now, she needs your brawn. She needs your protection. You don't need hers. You can become self-sufficient in a physical level, man. Beautiful thing. What up, Jeff? Number 2, you have the power of creativity. You can create what's in your mind. You have a vision, you can make it reality. Think about it. The first bike ever created, the first car, or the airplane, the rocket, men have built civilizations, right? The picture that you have in your mind can come to light, right? It's natural. Everything around you that you see, lights, cars, a cell phone, all of that comes from the mind of a man. Not the succubus, not the snow bunny, not the Chiquita banana. No, 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 now. Now, all of these things that come from us, the creature is still unappreciative of it. Still unappreciative of such. But only from the mind of man do these things appear, right? Number 3, you are spiritual. It's difficult for her to know the Most High, right? See, the block, what's in her way is that she's 100% material. She thinks nothing above the physical. And she can't be spiritual because she knows not what true self-sacrificing for others is. Maybe for her kids, but not for anyone else. Which her children are her own self-interest. Now, the greatest thing about you being a guy, and the greatest thing I love about being a guy, is that we seek knowledge and wisdom. Now, what she seeks now, instead of her seeking knowledge and wisdom, she seeks manipulation and chaos. You seek knowledge and wisdom and peace. And she's the opposite of that. You're looking for life-giving wisdom. She can't do that. She's purely biological and only sees the physical. Life for the creature is completely about biological functions. She eats, she defecates, she reproduces, she argues. And that's about it. There's not really much more to that, is it? Besides the physical. She can tell you about all of the soap operas, all of the gossip, but can't do anything about the spiritual, right? And shout out to Abron Telecom for his PayPal donation. Thank you, sir. But she can't do anything. She can't transcend the physical, can she? Much difficulty there. Now, there are exceptions now. There are exceptions, but those exceptions are just that. See, the nature of the creature is very primitive, and the creature hasn't changed for thousands of years. But the male has evolved, so to speak, mentally. Think about it. Men, we went from living in huts, right, to building skyscrapers, from horse and buggy to the spaceship and the jet airplane. But what about the succubus? What about the snow bunny? What about Miss Chiquita Banana? How does she evolve mentally? Oh, there is one way. She evolved to wear makeup and shoes and social media, I guess. But she didn't create such, but she's evolved for that, I guess. But that's about it. That's about it. No real mental evolution, right? But some of us want to debate and argue with such a creature who hasn't contributed much to the world as a whole. But we equals. Is that right, Kitty Candy? And I want to know something. I heard a statement saying equal but different. Now, can something be equal that differs? Now, I'm saying on record that ontologically speaking, yeah, the female is a human being, the man is a human being. Yeah, of course. But does different mean equal? You tell me. I don't have any thoughts on it. You tell me. As my mindset is quite different. I'm not going to get into too much of that. But yeah, so we should be glad to be guys, man. Number 4, you age better, right? She hits the wall and she hits it fast. She smacks it, bam, head first. She has a small window of vitality, maybe 18 to 30, then she falls off, right? Small window. You're wine and she is milk, right? And for you, there will always be some young female in your view, right? Always be some young female in your view. Now, she's going to go for younger men, but that's only because her SMV, her dating market value, has dropped, right? Now, as a guy, yours starts, your high value starts around maybe 28, 30 years old. Hers starts at 18 and stops at around 30. It's gone. Kaput. She out of there. But you from 28, you can keep building till you about 65. Again, she's milking your wine. So that's another thing. You should be glad that you are a guy. Now, number 5, and last in this series, you have higher, deeper, and dominating intelligence. Think of all the greats: Carter G. Woodson, Malcolm X, Benjamin Banneker, Nikola Tesla, Einstein, Oppenheimer, right? Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, just to name a few. Captains of industry, scientists, revolutionaries. Where are the equivalents of these men for the other gender? Where are the equivalents, right? Show me. Tell me. And the same greatness that was within Malcolm and Benjamin Banneker, Tesla, Einstein, Carter G. Woodson, that same greatness is in you as well. In fact, do me this favor. Name an outstanding succubi actor for me. Name me an outstanding succubi snow bunny scientist. Can you do that? Margaret Sanger. That's the best they can do, huh? Can you name one? Matter of fact, can you name me a comedian? Aaron Ferris is in the building. What up, Aaron Ferris? Name me a female comedian that is as great as Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence. Can you name me one, please? Can you name me one? Tyler Perry? Is that a man or woman? Anyway, can you name me one? No, see, greatness and brilliance is within you. So we should always be thankful for that. Listen, realize that you were created from scratch. And she was made from pre-existing materials. She's a copy. You are the original. This is probably why that she has no brilliance of her own. She can only try to mimic brilliance, but can never attain such, right? And notice that everything she does, right? She wants to be called strong, right? And everything that she does that can be called strong or brilliant or creative, it's almost like she's mimicking masculinity, isn't it? She's copying masculine energy, isn't she? You ever see female preachers? What do they look like when they in the pulpit? What do they look like? What do you think about? What do you think about that? What do they look like? But here's the thing. Let me say this. The female is most beautiful when she's in her rightful place. And she's in her rightful place when she's A, not trying to be a man, B, not trying to challenge a man, and C, not trying to control a man. When you have a woman that's not doing one of those three things, not trying to be a man, not trying to challenge a man, not trying to control a man, she is beautiful. Gotta love women that are beautiful. And to me, that's the only way you can be a beautiful woman, when you're not trying to challenge, not trying to be, not trying to compete with a man. Book of Alpharonomy is in the building. What up, BOA? I talked about you a little bit earlier. Talked old BOA up, huh? But salute to my brother, Book of Alpharonomy. But yeah, so when she's in her rightful place, man, nothing is more beautiful. And notice, right? You know she needs you, right? You know that you are the prize, right? But notice when a succubi, whenever she's talking about, what I put it like this. I'll say it like this. The succubi is always talking about her in particularly, not as much as the Chiquita banana, not as much as the snow bunny, but the succubi in particular, she's always talking about being separated from a man. And for her, that's always a point of desire and pride for her. Miss, you don't need no man. I don't need no man. But why does she do this? She proclaims that so greatly. She's pretty much the only one who proclaims that so strongly and loudly. I don't need no man. So loudly. And I think the reason is because she knows instinctively. It knows instinctively that the entirety of its being is always going to be in relation to man. The creature knows that men are everything. She knows that instinctively. She even owes him to an extent for her existence, because we are where she came from, right? But she resents this fact that you're one and she's two. She resents this. And this is why the succubi rebels so much. She is Lucifer in a dress. Next off. At $3.99 watching. Appreciate that. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Random Thoughts Over Cognac number 4. And here's the best way to donate right there in the chat room. And I appreciate you all for joining me. Let me get into a little therapy real quick. But before I do that, I think I got a couple of PayPals to acknowledge. Andrea Johnson, appreciate that. Says, where were brothers like you when I was married? A married simp, Andre Johnson. Yeah, man. Sometimes we get hit, man, before we actually, how can I say it? Before we actually really come to the knowledge of things, sometimes we come late. Sometimes we come late to the party, man. And if you're a married guy, man, I mean, it's rough trying to get out of that system. When you come into, man, it's a rough thing to come into red pill knowledge, man, when you I'm married, man. It's real rough, man. It's real rough. What can I say? But anyway, we'll talk about that a little later. Um, a little therapy here. A little therapy. I had to Marcus Love, appreciate that. That's for the Cognac fund. Appreciate that. Um, this is what the third thought. I had to come to a point, man, when I had to actually accept my own nature, my own male nature. One of the things about the red pill, man, is we talk about female nature all the time, but oftentimes we don't talk about our own individual male nature. We don't talk about that much. Who we are just in our biology as a man. We have been shamed by the society for actually being what our biology makes us to be, what you were created to be. No one shames women for being women, right? But you're definitely shamed for being a man and have certain biological proclivities and interest. So yeah, man, women would try to shame me in the past for not wanting to be exclusive with them. Realize again, the first step in the red pill is to be introspective, to know who you are. And I found out that my sexuality is quite different from others. In fact, I can say this. My sexuality is different than most men. My sexual orientation is not normal by societal standards. And what is this particular orientation? What's this particular orientation that's so different? Well, it's this. I am a heterosexual, polygynous male by nature. I have never in my entire life wanted just one vag in my life. Never. What up, Xanatos? So yes, Xanatos, I am a straight male who is polygynous. I've never found a vag that I wanted just one of. I never found one woman that was more beautiful and more desirable than two. Never found two that was more desirable than three. Never. In fact, two is almost always more beautiful than one. Now, most guys see having more than one is a headache. I understand that. But I never met a dollar bill that was better than a $5 bill. Never met a $5 bill that was better than a $20 bill. Never. Never, never, never. Never. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever met a $5 bill that was better than a 20? I think I missed a super chat too. Forgot who that was. Let me see if I can find that super chat. I don't want to miss the super chats now. That's important. Super chats are important. But yeah, let me know, gentlemen. Have you ever met a $5 bill that was better than a 20? Let me know. Inquiring minds want to know. So I've always been shamed by some. Shamed by some ladies. Because they always want you to act out their biology for them, right? So shout out to Ajabu Bay for Sunrise Trust. Appreciate that, brother, with the PayPal donation. Now PayPal is acting kind of funny. It's kind of PayPal is trying to tell me that I have to verify my tax status. Oh man, I pay taxes, man. I ain't got no problems with that. But anyway, Ajamu Bay says a wrinkled $20 bill is better than a brand new $5. Absolutely, man. So I never met one. Never met one. But see, that's my nature. I ain't saying that's the nature of all of you guys, but that's my nature, man. So my sexuality is a little different. Always wanted more than one. I like ice cream, man. Vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. I don't want one flavor. I don't want to eat the same steak every night. Mm-mm. Now, for some guys, I understand that that is a headache having more than one. But that can be possibly for the men who are actually not running their relationships. When relationships are on your terms, then headaches are minimized. And I'm not saying that every man should have more than one. There's guys who shouldn't have any women in their life, can't handle one. There are men who should have probably just one. That's all they can deal with. Got your hands tied with that one woman, and that's fine. Some guys should have none because you'll ruin her life because you have no direction in yours. And some guys should only have one. But then you have an elite group of men, a certain class, who desires, I'm not saying you have to necessarily have it, who desires, who are kingdom minded, who have a rulership mentality, who have a king's mentality, even if you have a poor man's money in your pocket. And you desire more than one. You see yourself as a king, a ruler. And I've always been that, man. But I had the whole of society telling me, nah, that's wrong. At one time I was under the guise of religion, man, and believed that having more than one woman was wrong. That's right. Take over. 3 is good. 3 is definitely good. At least 3. David Bowman, what's happening, brother? Charles Mertz says, cheating is a feminist ideal. A man can have more than one woman, yet it can be a detriment to a man. And Charles Merchant, I agree with that 100%. Not every guy should have that. But I had to get out of this programmed thinking, man. I had to get out of that programmed thinking because it was times that I actually felt bad, felt guilty, felt terrible about it. But that just goes to show you how well conditioned a society that we have, that I had the physiological responses of guilt of dealing with more than one woman. But now that my eyes are clear, that I can see things a lot better, that guilt is non-existent. So here goes a survey question. I'm going to let you guys answer this for a second. So you may hear a little pause. I'm going to try to look at what you guys are saying. How many of you guys prefer more than one? If you prefer more than one, put a number 2 in the chat. I just want to see, because I have a theory. I believe that most men, and I could be wrong, I believe that most men want to be monogamous. So if you want to be monogamous, number 1 in the chat. If you want to be polygynous, ideally put number 2 in the chat. So let me see what you guys are thinking. Oh, a lot of 2s. Oh, you guys are proving my theory wrong, man. I thought most guys want to be monogamous. What? Oh my. Y'all can't be for real. I only see a couple of monogamous males in the chat. What's up with that? I see a couple of 1s. Oh my goodness. It seems like the 2s have it. Wow. Mr. Amazing said he needs 3. Man. 1 to adore. So Tyrell, you want only 1 to adore. Wow. Well, there you have it. So I guess my theory of believing that most men were desiring to be monogamous was wrong. But you know what? I have to say this one thing. This is the red pill sector, right? So I guess we may be the exceptions here. This could be exceptional. REMOB said 4. That's your ideal? Katan Singh says he actually wants 347. Can you handle that, brother? Can you handle that? And we're talking about ideally now. We know that there are communicable diseases out there and all. We're just talking about ideally now. This is a thought experiment. So most of the guys are saying that they are polygynous. Now, let me ask you this, guys. Ideally, right? Ideally, and this is going to be the last survey for now because I see a lot in chat. Ideally, how many? I think 3 is the optimal number. I think 3 is the optimal number. Some of you guys are greedy. But give me a number, gentlemen. Give me a number. Give me a number that you would like. That's comfortable. A number that you think is comfortable. Yeah. I'm going to put my number in the chat too, that I think is comfortable. It's a comfortable number for me. Lamar said he already pushing for the wives, my man. Wow. Well, it's nice to see that all of us guys in here have the same nature. We have the same sexual orientation. Heterosexual, polygynous males, salute. Here go my drink in hand. You hear it? Salute to all the polygynous fellows in the world. I guess my theory has been proven wrong. I thought most of you guys would only want one. So what's all of those romance songs that we've been hearing all our lives? What is that about? I guess they lying to us, right? Well, you know what? They make those songs for ladies anyway. Zeke Bell, Shabbat Shalom. Appreciate the super chat. Zeke. Oh, yeah. So most of you guys want more than one vag. Now, you've been told, and many still believe that is so wrong. But that's your biological imperative. Her biological imperative is to nest with one guy for his protection and his resources, procuring one mate for a lifetime for safety, protection, security, and familiarity to raise seed. That is her biological programming. That's her instinct. Your instinct is to procreate with as many as possible to spread your seed. But the Western world has decided that her biological imperative trumps yours. And this is where we get gynocentrism. So part of being awakened and aware is to know and be aware of your own biological imperative and to be proud of it and not to feel shame for it. What's not biological is the succubus being a thought. Multiple baby daddy, multiple menses. That is not conducive to her biology. She's not born to do such. How can I say so? Real simple, right? Real simple biology. Biology 101. She can only get pregnant by one man at a time. Period. And she's dependent on that man at least while she's pregnant, when she's about to pop, about 9 months old. She's definitely dependent when that little baby comes out. Can she hunt? Can she fish? Can she do for herself? No. But the society has turned nature on its ear. And this society, Western world, has made her a player and made you the one that wants to nest. Thinking Man's Temple, I says you can't even listen to 99% of the music. That R&B, man, is so simpish. So simpish. I think BOA did a video about the top simping songs. And then there's a couple of Red Pill songs as well, but mostly simping. But yeah, that's your biological imperative, man. And I refuse to let anyone shame me for that. I got over that a long time ago. Brian Bourne says with the super chat, says, like spades, I'd like 2 and a possible. Facts. 2 and a possible. I like that. But yeah, man, that's your biological imperative. But modern romance says something different. Eyes for only one. And I'm not saying that you can't appreciate one woman. I'm not saying it at all. I appreciate all your women. But I see most of us want more than one. And you guys surprised me today because I've been saying for a while that most guys, you know what, we have to, you know what, if we ask the blue pillar would say just one. And I think that's the difference. And here's the thing we must understand and remember that this community, what I want to write, this community is rare and small. It's not a lot of us. The simping world is about 99.6%. So that's the thing. Here, we're into thinking like kings and not servants. And the blue-pilled simp is a servant of the ladies. And that's what R&B is. R&B music is about serving, begging, pandering, worshiping the female. That's R&B for you. I'm trying to think, were there any R&B guys that was really on some player shit, that was on some man, that was just Macish with it, that was just alpha with it, that was just a man with it? If you know any R&B singer that was really a man with his stuff, put it in the chat. Thinking man simple, I be away. Can you all think of anybody that was really a man about it? I mean, true to his own nature. Yeah, Too Short was a rapper though, so we don't want to count the rapper. Barry White and Donnell Jones. Are you sure about Donnell Jones? I thought he was kind of simpish. R. Kelly, okay, that's one. Montel Jordan, R. Kelly, I can see that. Cameo, okay, all right. Too Short, definitely. Rick James, okay. Isaac Hayes, R. Kelly, okay. I'm going to have to go listen to some of that stuff. No, the channel, not Joe. It's ODB. I like it raw. Absolutely. Migto Ghost Son with the super chat. Appreciate you. It says, I got from a trustworthy source that men have more than 15 to 20 times the amount of testosterone a woman has. We are meant to move around on these women and move fast. I ain't mad at you. Jaheim, Orange Juice Jones. Now that brother right there was definitely James Brown. Yeah. ZZ Hill. That's ZZ Hill's blues, right? Think so. Trey Songz. Nah, man. I don't know. Cortez Smith, Return to the Mac. That was a Jamaican guy did the song, right? I forgot that who that guy was though. Yeah, I think there were a few. R. Kelly for sure. Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass. Yeah, Teddy Pendergrass. I'm about to go look at some of his stuff too. Al Green, was he? I think you could probably say Al Green. I think you could. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Our business. What's happening, bro? Yeah, I guess you can say those. Life Jennings. Man, you went way back with that. He was like a one-hit wonder, right? Mac Morrison. That's the one with the Return of the Mac, right? There you go. Tyrell. Curtis Mayfield. Yeah, that may be one. So, yeah, I guess we can say that there were some guys. Bobby Womack. Yeah. I guess we can say that there were Clarence Carter. I'll be stroking. I guess you can say there were some guys who were manly men when it came to their music. But, again, that's really rare. Really, 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 really rare. Michael Jackson and Prince sold us out. Those are some good musicians, man. But you know, they had to play the game. They had to play the game, man. You know, they had to give the mainstream what it wanted. All right, moving along. Let me go to this next start before we get to the question and answers. You know, I'm long-winded, man, and sometimes I don't realize it. But I already been on here almost 2 hours already. Don't even feel like it. Big Mouth Black Ram. Okay, now, the fourth thought. The non-succubi is the most attractive to me. The non-succubi, right? It's just by her spirit. I'm talking about the non-BAW, right? Since it's so rare to find a BAW that's feminine, I actually see other females as much more attractive. I see other women as having much more feminine energy. And it's very, very attractive. Feminine energy is very attractive. Appreciate that, Asian Machines. Feminine energy is very attractive, man. Check this out. When you see Caitlin, Mylene, Metisol, there are some distinct differences about them. In fact, I want you guys to put some differences in the chat. Matter of fact, let me do something real quick. Hold on a second. Got to make myself a little more comfortable. Yeah. I'm back now. There's some distinct differences, man. You know what I noticed about Caitlin, Metisol, or Mylene? They smell different. Have you ever noticed that? Even if you never experienced one in a relationship, if they ever walk past you and you get a whiff, they smell different. They smell feminine. Have anybody noticed? Maybe it's just me. See, I'm a female connoisseur, so I have like a certain appreciation for women that maybe you guys don't have. I'm not sure, but I noticed there's a different smell to them. It seems softer. It seems feminine. Maybe it's a difference in hair. Maybe the weave has but it's just different, man. Altogether. I mean, seriously, Caitlin, Mylene, Marisol, they literally have a different smell than the succubi. Salute, Mr. Limber Channel. What up, brother? Good to see you in here, man. Always good to see my brother in here. But she has a different smell to her, man. I just want to know, does anybody know what I'm talking about? Have anybody noticed that they smell softer? Just when she walked past. Maybe it's the hair shampoo. Yeah, JD Tate, it's a feminine smell, isn't it? It's just different. And I don't understand why. That's something that I need to investigate. Why does the non-succubi smell different? That's what I want to know. And the succubi, she acts like a man. She wants to be a man, which is such a turnoff. She has masculine energy. I don't want a strong woman. That don't sound right. You want a strong woman. You need a strong woman. No, man. I ain't feeling that. Let me ask you a question. Does anyone want strong water? If you want something strong, you're going to go to the liquor store. But do you want strong water coming out of your faucet? Do you want strong bottled water? Do you want a strong pillow? I'm a strong man. I don't need strength from a woman. I need softness. I need the opposite of me. So I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Strong, nah, that's a turnoff. But that Caitlin, man, and Mylene, she just smells so different. And I just don't know why. I'm thinking a lot of it has to be the hair. What up, Mr. Darko? Appreciate you. A lot of it has to be the hair. Has to be. I never heard of a strong snow bunny or a strong Su Ming. I've never seen a strong Marisol. They don't say those things. Cortez Smith says, succubi smell like motor oil. Let me see. Make that visible. Sometimes, if the chat, I don't know if you guys noticed that if you say like bad words in the chat, it won't let it show. So, these YouTube streets are being cleaned up. So, you got to be, if you want me to read your comment, you got to be careful what you say. Brian Bourne with the super chat. He says, yes, I agree. Femininity is very attractive. Facts. There is a different smell, a different aura. You are speaking facts. That's why I identify the succubus so easily. I turn the other way quick. Salute to you, Brian, for your super chat and that excellent commentary, sir. Absolutely. Just a difference, man. Now listen, how as a man can I be attracted to a creature that wants to be me and play my role? Be as I am, hard, strong. That's a repellent for me, man. I don't want that in a woman. And she's faking and pretending it anyway. Think about this. Now, don't put any spoilers in here. I haven't watched The Walking Dead this past season. Some people say it's good, some people say it's crap, but I haven't watched it. But think about last season. You ever, and some of you guys were familiar with the show, remember the character Michonne? She walking around with that sword, chopping off the heads of zombies. She's strong, she's muscular, she's powerful. She ain't to be played with, right? But I've never seen anyone like that, though. Never seen a woman like that. I've seen some women who can throw down and kick butt, but not like Michonne, man. I'm like, man, that's going way too far. Way too far. And she's masculine. And that ain't cute at all. She even got a masculine look about her. That's just not cute, man. It's not beautiful, man. Thinking Man's Temple says nothing attractive about her. Exactly. Now, if a woman says she's strong and independent, means she got her own money, I ain't got no problem with that. I'm all for a woman having her own money, her own job, her own car, all of that stuff. You can be independent. And you know what? You notice that you don't really hear a definition about that. What does she mean independent? Okay, you got a job, you dependent there, you dependent on the job. You got a car, you dependent on your car to get you. What does independent mean? Has anybody even asked that question? What does she mean when she says she's independent from what and from who? And I don't think she's talking about financially or anything. I think what she means when she says she's independent, and it may not sound like it could be part of the actual word, but this is how the succubi thinks. When she says she's independent, I believe she's just trying to say, in other words, she's above you. That, as the scripture says, you're not her head. I think that's what she's saying. I think that's rebellion against you being the lead. I don't think it really means much else. I've never met a man who said that a woman making money is a problem. Are there any guys out there like that? Are any of you guys intimidated by a woman making some money? I'm not. So what does independent mean? Okay, you got a job. Good. Somebody gave you a job. Okay, fine. And what does that mean? We're all dependent on something. But I think that means that basically she's rejecting the man as her head. I believe that's what she's saying, basically. She's rejecting headship. Because I really don't see how that term applies. And they never define that term. So if you guys ever talking to a succubi, maybe that might be something to ask them. What in the hell does independent mean? Thinking Man's Temple says, man, I was in Northern California at a truck stop and this snow bunny walked in and she left the whole room just by her bubbly vibe, and all the men damn near had a smile on their face. Yeah, that's amazing, man. You can't see that from a succubi at all, though. And I just found that amazing. Amazing, man. But yeah, so Michonne from The Walking Dead, yeah, that's unattractive, man. Fifth thought. I got 10, but I don't think I'm going to get to all of them. Fifth thought. Now, I like the way the BAW looks. I like the way she looks. I think she's the most beautiful looking female on the planet. The fourth survey today, maybe it's the fifth one. If you think that the BAW is the most beautiful on the planet, number one in the chat. If you think she's not, put number two or your preferred type. Whether it's Maylene, Marisol. Mr. Red Pill says, body-wise, yeah. Yeah, she baddest body on the planet. I mean, by far. By far. I mean, you got some snow bunnies with a bump back there, but man, ain't nobody got nothing on that BAW. So the guys who put number two, okay, cool. And then also put your preference. Takeover says, my preferred type is Arab, Middle Eastern. You know what? Those are some fine women, man. I like East Indian women a lot too. I really do. East Indian women look nice. This amazing said Brazilian. Oh yeah. Afro-Dominican. Okay. Yes, Michael. That's what BAW is. Yes, absolutely. Book of Alpharoni says when her face is feminine, she can't be beat. Absolutely. I agree. Most of them fat. I hear you, Robinson. Slim, thick BAW. Hey, hey, S Brown, that's what I'm talking about, man. Slim, thick. These guys don't know nothing about that, man. They don't know what that is. They don't know what slim, thick is. They want that chunky, thick. But slim, thick is where it's at. Ethiopian and Eritrean. I heard I am Aaron mentioned Eritreans. I'm gonna have to go look that up because I can't think of what an Eritrean look like. AM1 is in the building. What's happening, brother? Good to see AM1 in the house. AM1 has an awesome YouTube channel. Check them out. Check them out. Salute to you, AM1. Good to see you, brother. Digger Man Temple says a certain phenotype of the BW is highly attractive, but my eyes are open to Arab, Middle Eastern, Ethiopian women. Absolutely. Ghana. Marcus Left says Ghana. Mexico. Mexican women are feminine. Mexican women are feminine. Yeah, yeah. I heard that. The Mexican buddies that I have at work, man, they always praise the women from, they call it the old country, man. I guarantee that's a good look too, man. Cambodians, slim, thick. Oh yeah, Cambodian. So Eritreans look exactly like Ethiopians. Ajumu Bay. Ethiopian women are beautiful. So that's another thing. I got one more survey, man. One more survey. Do you guys prefer dark skinned? I ain't gonna say skinned it. No such thing as a skinned it. Do you guys prefer dark skin BAWs or light skin BAWs? Terrence says all shades. Absolutely. Some guys have preferences. I used to be color struck back in the days. I used to only want red bones, but that's no longer true. Tyrell said black. I hear you, man. Lucas said red bone. Dr. Brown skin. Dark. Yeah. Dimitri Mixo said dark. Now it's true. Dark all day, huh? It seemed like the dark has it. Dark and all. I think those are the two main ones. Technology says brown sugar. Persian. Persian is an Iranian. I got you, man. War secrets. Both. Kendall says neither BAW. Wow. Wow. Nice smile and slanted eyes. The Zulu. Says blue black is avatar sexy. Chocolate tie. I got it. I think the consensus is dark skin. So if I was to classify you guys are some dark skin loving polygynous men, I guess. Brian Bourne with yet another super chat. Thank you, Brian. He says, I met a BAW in Holland. By far the most beautiful women on the planet. Femininity is on point. Dark skin, teeth white as snow. Excellent, man. Excellent. Okay, enough of the surveys. Let me get on to some more stuff before I get into the questions and answer section. I think I'm gonna have to save some of this stuff from for Cognac number 5 next. So I think I'll save some of that because I definitely want to get into some questions and answers, man. Guys, email me all the time. I got a couple of more first though. But guys, email me all the time and come in the comment section, ask me all kind of questions. So I want to leave some time for that. So I got 2 more, and then I'll get into some questions and answers. So the next thought, I guess I can save some of these. The next thought, number 5. Oh, you know what? I didn't finish my thoughts on this. I kind of got off track. Let me get back on track. So yeah, I like her looks, the BAW. I like her looks, but it's just her spirit that I despise, her behavior. And I think you all feel the same way. Hands down, she's the most beautiful woman on the planet. And most guys agree that the BAW is the most beautiful on the planet, and really can't be beat. Thinking Man Simple says, "Hey Ram, you got a woman that you've come across that you say is the finest woman you've ever seen?" No, Thinking Man Simpler, I actually don't have one, because every time I see one that I think is so fine, I see another one that's fine too. Here go the thing about women, man. Now, let me see if I guess this is another survey, but no, you know what? This ain't a survey, because I'm sure you all can agree. Check it out. The reason why I can never, ever, ever in life say that one woman is the finest woman that I've ever seen. Let me tell you why I can never, ever, ever say that. It's not that so many women are beautiful. No, 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 no. Let me tell you, because I am a woman connoisseur. Right? That's why I do my channel. It's about female nature, man. I know about the female, right? So as a connoisseur, as a person who knows about the ladies, man, who appreciates the lady, let me tell you why I can never, ever, ever, ever say that one woman is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And the reason why is this, and here goes some game. This is how you know Black Ram is real about this here, because this is what I'm about to say. You probably ain't never heard this before. The reason why, again, that I cannot say that one woman is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen is because each woman is beautiful in her own way. You got slim, thick, beautiful. You got tall, slim, beautiful. You got brown skin, beautiful. You got natural hair, beautiful. You got all types of fine. And each one is different. So since they're so different and fine in so many different ways, there's no such thing as the finest woman that you've ever seen. Again, there is no such thing as the finest woman you've ever seen. People say, oh, Halle Berry and Nia Long. No, man, they're beautiful in their own way. But females are so different in their looks that they're all beautiful in a different way. And this is why it's kind of crazy, right? For women to try to necessarily compete against each other physically, because you're pretty in a different way. Yo pretty, Keisha pretty, ain't Tamika pretty. Lauren London pretty, ain't Halle Berry pretty. It's just a different kind of pretty. So since there's different kinds of pretty, I really can't differentiate and say one is better than another. Think Man Simple says, at times, I can find weird things attractive in a woman, like odd things and quirks about them. I think only men can do that. I agree. Thinking Man Simple, the Western femme's brain are pretty much all the same. Now, what you can notice that you can pick up as a man, because you're intelligent, because you're wise, you're godlike, you can pick up small little idiosyncrasies, small little quirks of a personality and appreciate that. It is impossible for her to do that now. It's impossible. She got an eye for details, but not you being a detail. She got eyes for you being a utility. But yeah, man, you can pick out small little things. But yeah, man, all women are different kind of pretty. So it's very difficult to say. Now, you know what an ugly looking female looks like, and one that's not attractive. I'm not saying that. But when you see a fine woman, it's like, damn, she fine. But this one over here fine too, but she fine in a different way. So you really can't discriminate, so to speak, when it comes to that, man, because different kind of pretty. Different kind of pretty. Do you all agree that there is a different kind of pretty? I think you all get the point. I think you all do. So let me finish this point. I had some notes here too, so I know I can't get to all of this because this is just number 5, and it's, wow, it's almost 3 hours in. Beauty is skin deep, true. So everybody concurs with that. 2 Cents says Lauren London was hood sexy. Halle Berry in the 90s was another level. Yeah, Lauren London is hood sexy, but she, man, Lauren London in her prime, my goodness. My goodness. Michael L says, facts. I came to that conclusion a while ago. To me, a certain season red bones are everything. Another, I'm hyped on that African stuff. I only picture the most beautiful dark skin. I hear you, Michael L. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and finishing this thought. So it's her behavior that's ugly, man. And I don't think her behavior will change in the United States of America. So since I can enjoy the beauty, can't really enjoy the mind, the behavior, the mindset. So when I'm with her, I can enjoy the moment, and most of them are thoughts. So, you got to keep that in mind. But what up, Terrell? So you got to enjoy what you can enjoy. Ethos 13 says monogamy is a curse to a man who creates abundance of life in his balls every hour. Absolutely. It is. Ethos, I like the way you think, man. Destroy the Make says, I will not cast my seed before swine. She must be of superior genetic lineage. I hear you, man. And they spend a lot of time on the outer appearance because usually that's pretty much all she got. In her mind, in her soul, there's no substance. She has pretty much no soul. So she spends her time dolling herself up and looking good because that's pretty much all she got. So, and that's a good one. Don't cast your pearls before swine. That's a good one, man. That's why I resist the urge. Here's the thing. Since a lot of modern films, their minds are so convoluted and empty and full of this American mindset, I don't cast my pearls before swine either. I really don't try to speak much to them or impart much into them because it's like putting water in a pot with holes in it, man. She can't retain it no way. She can't appreciate wisdom and knowledge and spirituality anyway. So you kind of have to look past her for that. You have to deal with her according to knowledge, man. She's 100% physical and 0% spiritual. So you just have to look at her for that and just appreciate the physical part. I think we go wrong as men. Appreciate that, Marcus Love. I think we go wrong as men. I think our issue as men is this. We appreciate a woman's beauty, but what you're looking for in a woman is a friend. You're looking for a confidant. You're looking for a soulmate. But if you're a spiritual man, that's always going to be lacking. I mean, the creature has no soul. All she cares about is this world at this time, here, now, the physical. That's all she cares about. That's all she cares about. Nothing more than that. Number 6, and I think this is going to be my last thought before I get into questions and answers, because it's getting a little late, and I can save the rest of this material for part 5. But I want to get into one more because it's a lot of questions people ask, and hopefully you guys can ask these questions right here on the live stream. I tell a lot of guys, hey, wait for the live stream and ask me some questions, and we'll go for it. So this last thought, number 6. I got like 12, but I just do have. Now check this out, man. Check this out. Have you guys ever heard of the term thought stage or whole phase? Have you guys ever heard of that term? I want to know if you guys have heard of that first before I move on. Have you guys ever heard of that? The thought phase, whole stage, thought stage. Have you heard of that? People saying yeah, because I just want to make sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And I'm explaining for the people who have not heard it before. A thought stage. Brian Bourne says too much. Well, I got some thoughts on the thought stage. Whole faith. I hear you thinking, man, Templar. So pretty much everybody's heard of that. So I'll explain it to those who haven't, right? Now, I first heard that term from Tariq. And that term implies that every woman has a phase in which she is promiscuous. It implies that this behavior is part of the maturing process. It's just in a phase into adulthood, or just a phase of adulthood. It's the idea that promiscuity in her is part of her overall and normative human behavior. It's the idea that this promiscuous behavior is to be expected, it's biological, and it's inherent. This is the implication. And if this is biological and inherent, that she goes through a thought stage, then automatically the implication is that such behavior should not be shamed because it's normal. It's normal. That's the idea. That a thought stage is normal. And I say to that, bullocks. I say it's bull. There is no thought stage. Repeat, there is no thought stage. Repeat, there is no thought stage. Now, what you are, what she is, right? What it is, it's not a phase. It's a character trait. And most of all, it's a conscious choice. Now, notice this. The Western narrative is always to excuse the succubi, the snow bunny, to excuse them for their misbehavior, to attribute her behavior to a causality that's outside of her control. And the reason for this is to free her from responsibility and accountability for her actions. Being a thought is a conscious choice, man. It's a decision and a behavior. One doesn't have a thought stage of development. There's no adolescent stage called thought. There's no adult stage called thought. It doesn't exist. It didn't exist in the 40s and 50s, did it? She's a thought because she wants to be a thought. She's a thought because she thinks long term. She doesn't have a long term strategy. She thinks short term. Her world consists of the here and now. There ain't no stage. It's a decision. The thought stage implies that when she's young, she rides the carousel. She plays musical chairs on the D, going from D to D. And she does this when her SMV is high. And when that SMV becomes low, she finds a beta to settle down with. Real simple. And the thing about this society, they claim monogamy is beautiful in the right way, but there is no such thing as monogamy. I mean, you can call it serial monogamy, but a chick that's been with 10 guys, that's not monogamy. Monogamy is one mate for life. That's monogamy. These women aren't monogamous, man. Doesn't exist. And what happens is when her age and her weight catches up with her, now she want to settle down and be with one guy for the rest of her life, possibly. But gentlemen, there is no thought stage. It's crap. You are what you are. It's a character trait, nothing more. Character trait. It's a choice, a conscious choice. Now, here's the thing. You got people saying all over the tube that there's a thought stage, as if this is people. I guess people listen to guys, and since they popular, they just take those thoughts and quotes by these guys and they take it and run with it as if it's really true and real, like they're really saying something because they're popular. And I ain't got no gripe with Tariq, but I just put Tariq up on some game. Ain't no thought stage. And I ain't trying to be no crispy puppet, so I ain't trying to beef with no Tariq, but ain't no thought stage, man. Anyone who thinks a thought stage exists, you're just trying to excuse her for her thoughtism, trying to let her dodge that responsibility. You don't want to call her out. That's what that is. Ain't no thought stage. It's ridiculous. And you know what? You would think, according to this so-called thought stage, that I guess it also implies that she mentally matures. But what happens is that in the dating market, as her value drops, as she gets older in the dating market, her value drops, right? So then her strategy changes. It's not maturing. It's not a noble thing. It's not like, oh, well, she got wise. She matured. She not a thought no more. No, man. Her options changed. When she's young, she's in her 20s. She wants the tall, popular guy. She's in the club. She wants the alpha. But when she hit that wall, shout out to Nicki Minaj, and she can't get those popular alphas no more, then she goes for the betas for his bucks to nest to fulfill her biological imperative. She does this late because she's too busy riding the carousel when she's older. I mean, when she's younger, she's too busy riding the carousel. So she rides the carousel when she's young. She marries a beta, then she divorces him, takes his house and his money, then she go to the club looking for younger guys then. I guarantee that's going to be Nicki soon. So ain't no stages, man. Eventually she becomes a cougar. So here's how it goes from start to finish. When she's young, it's Thuggo in them. Dude in them who can't pull their pants up. It's attractive. The guy on the basketball team, the popular guy, the guys that everybody loves. Football team. She goes from this guy to that guy, this guy to that guy in her 20s, hitting the clubs. Then when she gets 30, she gets depressed because she can't pull him at the club no more. When you see her in the club, she's not getting looked at. She's getting looked past for that 20-year-old. So then she says she leaves the club and then she gets on the internet. And then she might find her a simp there. And then she may marry that simp. And then she divorces that simp and gets with a young thug. Rinse and repeat. It's no mystery. We know her mentality. We know her mindset. We can predict her actions. We can predict the future. It's amazing how a guy will get with the woman. In fact, I had a coworker like this, man. This dude got with this woman, man, who was all into him, cooking and cleaning, doing everything that he wanted her to do without even asking. Single mom, too. I mean, did the thing. He said, man, ain't no woman ever treated me like this good. I'm going to marry her. But not realizing female game. She did that so she can get your resources, man. She did that so she can get you, brother. That's all that was. She wasn't really into you like that. She liked what you was about on paper. And she was getting old. But maturity, quit playing, man. She's the same. I said this before. She's the same at 28 as she was at 18. Same mentality. Same at 28 to 38 to 48. 65, she's the same woman she was at 18. Even got guys saying that they mature at 45. Nope. I talked to another coworker the other day, and she was telling me that we were talking about celebrities and everything. In fact, we was talking about the idea of a man having more than one woman. Of course, she was talking about what her husband can't do. And she was talking about how she likes celebrities and everything like that. And the question came up, the argument came up about, women and men who like celebrities or whatever. Anyway, long story short was this. She mentioned that, she monogamous, but she wouldn't cheat on her man with her favorite celebrity. I think it was Omar Epps, but she would want to just go up to Omar Epps and hug him and smell him. I said, to me, that's a violation. The whole fact that you want to smell another man and you got a husband, to me, that would be grounds for divorce, in my opinion. But anyway, she was saying that that's her love from high school or whatever grade she was in or whatever when she was younger. So she still has a picture of Omar Epps up in her house. Now she got a husband, but she got a picture of this guy. And I'm like, wow. So she has a crush on this guy from since she was younger. You would think she would grow out of that. Again, she's the same woman. I think she was in her 40s. She's the same woman in her 40s as she was in her 30s, as she was in her 20s, as she was when she was a teenager. It's a teenage thing to have your favorite celebrity posted on your wall as a teenage girl with your hee-hees and ha-has and your goofiness. Okay. But she ain't grow out of that. This is a grown-ass woman married with a celebrity posted on her wall. Goofy. That's cool with her simple husband, but that's goofy as hell, man. Goofy. She ain't getting mature. She the same woman. She just older. Hands a little wrinkly. That's it. Ain't no maturity. Dwayne Bryant, salute, fam. Absolutely. Black Ram for vengeance. And that's my second channel, Black Ram for vengeance. But yeah, man, there is no thought stage. Ain't no maturity. She's the same woman year after year, month after month, week after week, decade after decade. So we now are a few hours in. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching Random Thoughts over Cognac with your boy, Black Ram 313. I think we're going into our third hour. I had 12, man. I didn't think this was going to take this long. So what I'll do is I'll save the last half for Thoughts over Cognac number 5 when it come up. So now what we're going to do here, because of the preponderance, the frequency, the variety of questions that I get, remarks that I get, and salute to Studio Ryu for your PayPal donations. Appreciate you, fam, for your PayPal donation. I'm sorry, I got a little tongue tied. And I appreciate everybody for their PayPal donations, which is the best way to donate. So I really appreciate that. So let me get a little comfortable. And we're going to get into some questions and answers. You can ask Black Ram 313 anything. Appreciate that, Age of Machines. You can ask Black Ram 313 anything. Now, if we get to the point where there's no questions being asked, then we just going to shut the stream down. But I'm here to answer your questions. Just so I can see it, you might want to put like a, I don't know, an emoji next to it because sometimes it's hard to see it. But so I'm going to give a few seconds so you guys can get your questions together. 350 watching, about 9:40 Central. Age of Machines, appreciate you. Says a little extra for the great therapy session. Appreciate that. Ajube, wow. That's an interesting question. I think that, because this is a PG show, I think that is profane unless another man is involved. I'll answer it like that. I don't want to get too much into that because this is YouTube. Thinking Man Temple says, I was talking to my homeboy and said that single mother culture has ruined the ethics of sports. Do you agree, NBA and NFL? That's kind of a little ambiguous. I mean, I wonder, what does he mean by ruin the culture? You talking about like the athletes or the impact that it had on athletes, or what in particular would be that's ruinous? Just want to know a little bit. How much cognac have I had? I want to say a couple of shots, maybe a shot and some change in a glass, some Coca-Cola. The DJ Lit Show says, do I fear death and destroy the collapse? Says, how are you preparing for the collapse? Two great questions. Let me answer these questions before you guys ask some more. How much do I fear death? It's a good question. And it's no. I'll actually look forward to it. Am I preparing for the collapse? I got a few items, but I'm looking forward to the collapse, and I'm looking forward to death. I believe that life is not reality. I've said this before on a live stream. You're alive 40, 50, 60, 70 years, 30 years. Even if you're alive 100 years, you're dead for 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 100,000 years. That's the ultimate reality. So I'm ready for that reality always. So I do not fear death. I actually welcome it and look forward to it. And I'm not depressed or suicidal, none of that. But death is the ultimate form of freedom, in my opinion. Computer Power says, should I feel like I have regrets for not being part of the clubbing and raving scene? No, you didn't miss much. Because the goal for the clubbing and raving scene, in my opinion, as a man, is to get women. And you can always get women. Always. It's lit says, what are on your thoughts on hooking up and getting back with your ex? I don't think that's a good idea, brother. Depends on how long she's been your ex. Depending on how long she's been your ex, why y'all broke up. In some cases, it might be okay. In other cases, it might not be. I would need more information. AM1 with the super chat. Appreciate that. He says, in your opinion, are there any exceptions to the rule as far as women's ability for spiritual versus temporal nature? Yes, AM1, I believe that there are exceptions, but those exceptions are where? Let me give you an example. Usually when she goes to church or seeks spirituality, it's for something. For instance, let's deal with Christianity. She goes to church to seek riches from the Most High. In fact, to most succubi, the Most High. Again, to most succubi, the Most High is just another man who she's seeking for his resources. That's not spirituality. That's selfishness. That's greediness. So your average succubi, church-going ones, they're in church because they're seeking what's in the master's hand, not who he is. That's the difference. We worship the Most High for who he is, not what he can do. That's secondary. For the succubus, that's primary. Most all so-called spiritual systems, when the succubi is involved, it's a means to an end, and that end is always material for her. For you, it's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in itself. For her, it's material. Most of the time, but there are exceptions. I will say that. And thank you, AM1, for that super chat. Let me go to some more. TK United says, do you think we're heading for societal collapse? Absolutely. The signs are here. You got increases in earthquakes, natural disasters. You got the RFID chip around the corner. We see China spending much more on their military, building up their alliances. As far as Russia is concerned, they're doing the same thing. They're not doing it for nothing. I think it's almost that time. I still think we got a little while to go, but I think we're headed for a societal collapse for sure. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Yep, the collapse is coming. And one says, this life is not the highest order of things. I agree, brother. Kyle Williamson says, do you think it's immoral to bang a girl if she has a boyfriend and she's giving you plenty of choosing signals? Absolutely, Kyle. It's definitely immoral. Couple of reasons why. Number one, from a biological, a physical aspect, she's kissing this guy. She's doing other things with her mouth with this guy, doing things with her vag with this guy on a regular basis. Why would you want to come right after that? That's number one, right? Number two, biblically it's wrong. Number three, it's a risk. That guy can find out who you are and might want to fight. And is the vag worth fighting or dying over? No. And number five, there's too many women out here who don't have boyfriends or women who are single or at least claim to be that you can deal with. Hopefully those are some good answers for you, brother. So JWord04, how do you keep up your energy plus 3 hours and many times 6 hours or so? Keeping up energy, first thing is rest. Got to sleep, man. That's the first thing. And the second thing is you have to eat certain things. You eat heavy foods, high carb foods, you get energy in the short term, but in the long term, you'll crash. So for me, vitamins, vegetables, and a little black tea helps me stay strong. Let's see. Jay Polanco, your thoughts on dating a woman with 2 kids and a baby daddy? That's a good question. You can deal with her, but just make sure it's at a distance. Don't take care of her kids. Don't get involved in her business. Baby mamas with young kids are for smashing and smashing over. Only bend her over when she come through, and that's about it. Don't be taking out on expensive dates. Don't be splurging on her. Deal with her at a distance. Shango Emmy says, with the collapse, would you live in an underground city? If I could, I would. But I think the earthquakes will take out the underground cities at some point. At some point, let's see. Jamal Burr Mashar said, do you think the real mark of the beast isn't the IG chips, but media forms such as TV? No, the mark is a technology. If you look at Revelation, the mark is a technology. The scripture says no man can buy or sell without this number or this mark. So it is a technology. Most likely it's the RFID chip, and it's something that you have to use. Media is the form of mind control, of course, but I think the mark is a technology. Absolutely. Ebony Brown says, I can't stand when a BAW with no booty have stank attitudes. Absolutely. But stank attitudes and a succubi like hand in hand. I don't think you can have one without the other. That's right, Fast Attack too. No P is worth fighting for. Let's see. Any other questions? Ethos 13 says, I know what the mark is. Says, what is my top 3 reading list? My top 3, I will say, of course, the Bible. And I have a couple of books about how Trinitarianism is false. One book is by a guy named Keegan Chandler. Another one is by, I forgot the other guy's name. But that's what I've read lately. I'm always reading books. I don't want to have like top 5 books or anything like that, because I'm always reading and I always find something that's more fascinating than the last thing I've read. On my reading list to get is the next book I plan to get is The Two Babylons. I forgot the author's name, and I also want to get a book on idioms and figures of speech in the scripture. So I'm always trying to read something. So I don't really have a top 3. Stick V said that Baby Mama Vice was great, my man. Let's see what other questions we got. Let's see. Any more questions? No Ma'am 81 says, when was the last time you seen a fine female out west? Man, it probably was in the 90s. Them women on West Side look fried, bro. They don't look like nothing. Solomon Ultra says, should I study the occult? It depends on what you're studying it for. If you're studying to practice it, I would say no. That's against scripture. Are you studying to understand it? I would say yes, but be careful, because I've studied such things. Do so at your own risk, but if you're doing it for information's sake, I would say go for it. See, Red Pill Railroad said, what up, Black Ram? Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming in. Studio YU LLC, I appreciate that super chat. That PayPal, brother. Appreciate that PayPal. See what else we got. Some chicks hitting the wall early. Yeah, man. You got hitting the wall accelerators, smoking, drinking a lot, babies. That accelerates the wall. That's hitting that gas pedal. G. Will says, I can second that. West Side is horrible. South Side isn't far behind. You're right, man. Sexual transmutation. I know a little bit about that. I haven't practiced it. I've read a little bit about it, and some people swear by it, but I might actually have to try it before I can comment on it. And I have not done that. I believe in releasing my energy in the women that I deal with instead of repurposing and refocusing that energy. So I haven't done that. I put my energy into them, but that's something I might want to try one day. Mueller Blanc, it says in Genesis chapter 1, what did the Most High mean by us and our? That's a good one. Ethos 13 says, okay, that's just a statement. By us is ambiguous. That term us is ambiguous. There's a couple of theories. Some scholars believe that the us is referring to the angels. Other scholars, so-called Jewish scholars, believe that the us is part of a term called the majestic plural. You ever heard of the majestic plural? Majestic plural, because we know the term Elohim, which is actually Elohim in the Hebrew, is a plural form. And in this plural form, it's expressed in plurality because it's more of not a metaphor, but I'll say euphemistically or hyperbole sake, I would say that the term us is majestic, as a majestic plural, speaking in the plural form, because the Most High is so magnificent. You want to speak of him in a plural form instead of a singular. However, The reason why we know that there is no Trinity and that us is not referring to a Trinity, it's referring probably to Elohim or Elohim in its plural form, because hundreds of times in the Hebrew Bible, the term Yahweh or Yahweh is a singular personal pronoun hundreds and thousands of times. If I'm not mistaken, every time the term the Lord God is mentioned, which actually, when translated back to the Hebrew, is Yahweh, singular personal pronoun. So there is no tripart or trinity or triunity. So that's my thoughts on Genesis 1:26. I believe it's the majestic plural, the us there. Let's see what else we got. Scarhead, what do I feel about it? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do the plant because it leads me into paranoia. But some people think it's wrong. I don't think there's a Torah prohibition. I would say moderation and be careful, but I wouldn't recommend it because I don't like things to alter my mind. Whatever happened to 36, 24, 36? I know not what you're speaking of, sir. Let's see what else we got. Did I see the woman who had 44 kids in Uganda by one man? No, 44? What is she, a puppy? What the hell? No, I haven't heard about that. I'll have to look that up. Wow. Let's see what else. Mueller Blanc? No, that's not true. Most I didn't have a wife. A Rush says, wait a minute, let me see. Wait. Juma Bay says, men have the capability to give love to his women, but do you feel a virgin can also give love to her man? Women have to be taught how to love, and you can teach a virgin to love you. Whether it would be 100% pure like your love, no, it's not possible. But you can teach her to have a semblance of love for you as a man. Very difficult thing to do, but it's possible to get a virgin to connect with you so much so that she'll see you as she see herself and can sacrifice for you. Only way you know a woman love you is by how much she sacrificed. No sacrifice, no love. Let's see. Now I'm trying to read you guys questions, but I have to stop and pause. So if I missed you, it's not on purpose. If I don't answer your question, just repost them, because I have to slow down the chat to actually read it. Somebody said, will I date a woman with tattoos? I hit her. I'll use the catch and release method with her. I wouldn't put on the team though. Not at all. She definitely ain't getting on the team. Let's see what else we got here. Trying not to miss your questions. Be patient with your brother. Let's see. Johnny Fraser said, pay attention to Europe. Antichrist. Alchemist Surfboard. How do you ask her if she's shy? How do you ask her for the nookie if she's shy? You don't ever ask a woman for the nookie. What you do is you set the stage for your seduction. Real simple. Get her comfortable, get a few drinks, Kino escalate, maybe touch a leg, touch a thigh, then you work your way up, try to kiss on the cheek, try to kiss on the mouth, and you continue to escalate. If she says, no, stop, don't, then you move on. Real simple, but you never ask for it. I don't. You set the stage for it, you set the seduction, you set the mood, you go for what you know. Frank Micto says, Ram, what are your thoughts on all of these Black folks on Springer, Moore, and a host of other class talk shows telling the entire world their business? I think they're just doing that so they can have their day in the spotlight in the sun. That television camera is powerful, man, and everybody wants their moment on television. I think that they do that because it's their time to act as if they're a celebrity for a day. And that people love to see themselves on television. It's a big thing. Midwest 800 says, what are your thoughts on the charismatic Pentecostal movement? I studied the charismatic Pentecostal movement. I was somewhat involved in it. And I think it's hogwash. I think the charismatic gifts are not in effect today. Number one, because you don't have people in the truth. Number two is because those gifts were for signs, not for gifts' sake. Pentecostalism, which is a part of Christianity and its Trinitarianism. I believe Trinitarianism is false. Therefore, Pentecostalism is false system as well. Content says tattoos are portals for unclean spirits. I do believe that. Anything that breaks the law, statute, commandments to the Most High is a gateway into unclean spirits. Let me see. So Black Ram, I had a white girl crying last night because I made her pay for a meal and asked her to buy a round of drinks. What do you think of that? Yeah, do that. I mean, to me, sometimes when you go out with a woman, sometimes she pays, sometimes you pay, but she shouldn't have a problem getting a round of drinks. Y'all are equals, right? Okay, let me see. Let me go down. I know I'm answering you guys' questions kind of late too. I see a super chat up there, but I'm trying to get to these questions. Let me get to this super chat. G Will, thank you for your super chat, sir. Says your Ram didn't know if you were from the Shy. 2, always great content. If you had to pick a wife from a country, where would you choose? If I had to pick just one country for wifey, I would have to say Ethiopia, because those are some very beautiful dark-skinned women. I think that would probably be number 1 on my list. Number 1, absolutely. Let's see. I see you, Robert Mustafa Muhammad. Salute, fam. I'm talking about Twister. I went to the same elementary school as Twister. Charles Bird says, why is Chicago so violent with Minister Farrakhan there? Because nobody really wants to actually put foot to the pavement to actually do something about the crime here. Nobody's actually really willing to do everything that it takes. Chicago is a big city, and a lot of times people act out politically. Farrakhan has done some work in the communities. The Nation of Islam has done some work. I remember they used to be in the projects, keeping the violence down. So they've done some good things, but I think Chicago is just too far gone for anybody. Even for Jesse Jackson, which is his home, Mr. Louis Farrakhan, his home, I think it's too much for him. And everybody, I think it's too much. Obama. So we got 3 great leaders there, and it's just too far gone. Too far gone. Let's see what else we got. If I haven't answered your question, just repost them because I'm not able to see all of them. Cedric Wiley says, what up, Black Ram? Love the info. Up my game greatly. Appreciate that, brother. That's what I'm here for. G. Will says Chicago has no jobs. No, can't create the economy. Yeah, man. It's rough in Chi-Town. And if you got a felony, it's over with. Kevin Ramirez says, Black Ram, what's your take on people claiming women are intellectually superior since they typically get better grades in school and more are graduated from university? That's an excellent question. And yeah, typically they get more grades in school, but why is that? I think that boys and girls learn differently. Women are followers, and they are easy, for them it's easier to parrot. Men tend to think differently and think on their own and go against the grain, where the females are conformist. So you have 2 types of learning. Boys are more creative learners, more technical learners. The female can see something said and she's going to repeat it. And you just look at nature. Just look at nature. Just look at social media. Just look at the culture. She parrots everything she hears in the popular culture. She parrots that. So in school, it's the same thing. She just regurgitate back exactly what was said to her by the teacher, probably better than anybody else. She pays attention to those details. But men are creative. And if they are the same, if female brain and the male brain were the same, then like I said earlier, where are the equivalent for the other gender? Where's the equivalent to the Wright brothers? Why didn't they build the jet airplane? Why didn't they? Show me their innovation. Show me their creativity. Show me their intellectual prowess through innovation and technology. Show me their genius. Show me a genius of one of them. Yeah, in school, elementary school and high school, yeah, they tend to do better. But show me their genius. Where is it at? Where's the equivalent to the great minds that we've seen? on this planet. Joel Munchesser, I can't say that name. Moser, I don't know. Joel, salute Joel. I ain't trying to masker your name. Says background. You believe that there is truth in the loony solar Sabbath? I never heard of the loony solar Sabbath. I never heard of it. That's something I would have to investigate. So I can't really speak on that. 2 Cents says, do you think police or militia groups are behind a lot of murders in Chicago? I believe they are behind some. Some, possibly. I mean, you ever heard of this guy named Angelo from the West Side? Very popular guy. If I say Angelo from the West Side, people know who I'm talking about. You know, the police did something to him and quite a few others. So you never know, man. You never know. I think anything is possible. Frank Mixo says, I was raised Pentecostal church and it did much psychological damage to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can concur with that because I was once a part of those movements as well. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? LC Soup 93 says, I've never really haven't had a father figure in my life. And I definitely felt the effect of not having a role model in my life. Question is, how can I build that male model figure for myself? Oh, real easy, brother. Real easy. Continue to listen to this content and content like this. We are men building men. Iron sharpens iron. So stay tuned to this station and other stations like this one. And you'll get the game you need to be a full-blooded man in every sense of the word. That's what we do here. Nino Georgiou says, Black Ram, what's your take on fashion and working out? I believe fashion is important, depending on what type of work you do and what you're trying to get out here in life. I'm a minimalist. Kevin Samuels is the fashion guy. Shout out to him. And I believe in working out too. I believe in having your body tight, having your clothes look nice, fit nice clothes. Don't have to be expensive. I believe in being a well-rounded man. I believe in being in the shadows too. But there are times when you want to step out the shadows. There are times when you want to assert yourself. If you're a young man in your 20s, you might want to go and campaign, or you're a single man in your 30s, you might want to go out there and campaign. You want to be suited and booted. You want to be clean. You want to be smooth, suave, debonair. You want to have your body right. You want to have a few ripples in your stomach. And I'm not talking about fat rolls. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, a six-pack. You want that chest poking out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to work out because I'm trying to get my chest to poke out like a booty. You know what I'm saying? You look at Black Ram like, man, that's Black Ram. And look, that dude chest stick out like 2 butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? I think you should do it. I think you should be the best version of yourself that you can, man. That's what we do here. We occupy ourselves. But yeah, man. So my goal is to get my chest poked out like a booty. So yeah, man, do your thing. What up, Dwayne Darmaine? What's up, bro? That's right, LC Soup, my man. Kevin Ramirez says, I look to both you and Alpha Male Strategies for guidance and therapy. Appreciate you and what you do, Black Ram, my man. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate all you guys for being here. So let's see what else we got. Any more questions? Because, man, I'm getting emails every day. I get people coming to my comment sections every day asking me all kind of questions. Are there any questions that I missed? Anthony Lou says, workout is essential to keeping your testosterone up. Absolutely. Under there says, my dad would say tough guys end up in the pen on the graveyard. Absolutely. And it's true. That's where they ended up at. Don't be a tough guy. Be smooth, man. Be a player. Be smooth, man. When I'm out on the town, I'm a player, man. I'm smooth. I ain't looking for no trouble. I ain't causing no trouble. I'm chill. I'm smooth. I'm laid back. Yeah, you ain't got to be no tough guy. Dwayne Bryce says, Ram, have you reached that goal of 100 push-ups in 5 minutes? You're turning that body into a weapon. No, I have not reached that goal, but I can do 100 push-ups in about 10 minutes, though. So I may be there soon. I kind of hurt my shoulder, so I haven't been working out like I want to, but I plan to get back on it. Appreciate you remembering that video, man. Absolutely. T-Rose says, what up, Ram? Thanks for the red pill knowledge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin Ramirez says, would you ever consider a collab video with Alpha Male Strategies? Kevin Ramirez, look at my channel's archive, brother. I beat you to the punch. You late to the party. I was the third person ever to interview Alpha Male Strategies, and I am the one who told other YouTubers to interview Alpha Male Strategies because I knew Alpha Male Strategies was going to be that business. Alpha Male Strategies came to my YouTube channel talking shit one day, talked a little shit back to him, went to his channel, said, okay, man, I see what you're talking about. You that business. And I told other YouTubers to check him out, give him an interview, and bam, he about 150,000, 200,000 subscribers deep, if not more, making plenty of money. So yeah, Kev, I made that video with Alpha Male Strategies earlier this year. Check out my archive so you can see Alpha Male Strategies and myself chop it up. But check it out. It's on my channel. Check it out. Check it out. Age of Machines, you ever try 100 dips? Nope. Never tried that. Probably tear my arms up, right? Because I do at least 40 push-ups in under a minute. That's good stuff. I believe I can push out 40 in a minute too. Absolutely. Ajuma basically, I can do 100 push-ups in 7 minutes, still trying to get that done in 5. Absolutely. Andre Drake, you do a video with Gorgeous Dre? No, I haven't done a video with Gorgeous Dre. I doubt if Gorgeous Dre knows who I am. But man, I would love to interview Gorgeous Dre. That's one of the guys I listen to, man. Got a lot of respect for him. That's a brilliant man. But yeah, Gorgeous Dre, he that business. Dwayne Brown said, I would like to see Ram, Jap, Steve, and AMS chopping it up. Who is Steve? Who are you talking about? You talking about Steve the Dame? That cat don't like me for whatever reason. Cortez says, 100 without stopping. Age of Six, are you still good? Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. So, any more questions before I get out of here? Random thoughts over Cognac number 4. I had 12 points to make, but only got to 6. So, of course, that means there will be a part 5 coming up one day soon, most high willing. Cortez Smith is asking, is that what I mean? No, 100 push-ups, probably like 100 push-ups in like 5 minutes, maybe, yeah, 5 minutes, we have to probably do it straight. Now I'm doing them in sets. Yeah, 100 push-ups without stopping. Yeah, 100 straight through. Absolutely. No break. Just 100 reps. Now that's, you do 100 push-ups straight, you the man. Andre Drake says, you and Gorgeous Dre look and sound alike. I'll take that as a compliment. Kevin Ramirez says, is lying a female quality? Yes, it is. If you have to lie to a woman, it's only because you're scared of her. And if you're lying to a man, it's probably because you on some bullshit. So is lying a female quality? Absolutely. You don't have to lie if you ain't on bullshit and you ain't scared of your woman. Any man who lying to him because you're scared of her. And that's fine, you know, because I don't think at the same time she nobody who you got to tell the truth to anyway. You lie to her, that's fine. You ain't got to always tell her the truth. But let's just be real. This is therapy, right? And there is no lying in therapy. 9 times out of 10, if you're lying to a woman because you're scared. That's it. Lying because you're scared. But also don't take that to mean that you have to tell her everything. If you have to tell her everything, then she the boss, not you. Studio Ryu says, do you meditate? If so, what sort of meditation? I try to meditate by just simply clearing my mind and focus on the Most High. That's my meditation. Trying to clear the mind, empty the mind, just even if it's for a few seconds, just to ease the mind, chill out. And then that's my meditation. And think about the things of the Most High. Mainly, I do that in prayer. Try to clear that mind up and center it. Absolutely. Trevor Ariza just dealt to the Wizards. Oh, wow. The Wizards are bums too, ain't? No, Washington Wizards doing pretty good. My bad. Washington Wizards are doing pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see what else we got. Any more questions? T-Rose says, yep, when I first started listening to Black Ram years ago, I thought he was Andre Gorgeous Dre, Taylor's younger brother. Wow. Gorgeous Dre from American Pimp. Man, that's a compliment, man. That's a compliment. Sounding like Gorgeous Dre is definitely a compliment, man. I remember when I saw him on American Pimp spitting that fire game. Matter of fact, I think he was the best on the show, man. I mean, All the other guys were smooth too, man. But man, Gorgeous Dre really made that movie, man. Really made that documentary. Marcus Love says, "Thank you, Ram, for saying that. No need to tell women everything. Absolutely, you don't have to tell her everything, man. You're accountable to your God, man. You ain't accountable to her. If you got to tell a woman everything you're doing, she the boss. She wearing the pants. Absolutely. Tell her what she needs to know, and tell her sometimes, no, you don't. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know everything I'm doing or everything that I got going on. No, you don't need that. Hell no." Mueller Blanc says, "How do you speak more so smoothly?" That's a West Side thing, man. Slick talking fast, walking fast, talking slick talking, man. That's West Side thing. West Side is where Don Magic One comes from, and it's a town that was known in the 80s, specifically 60s, 70s, 80s, some of the 90s, even now, but even more so then, for pimps, players, and hustlers, man. And I was taught back in the day that your mouthpiece can get you anything you want in the world, right? It's not about how much money you got, not about how tall you are, how pretty you are. It's game that's supreme. Pimping comes from the lips, not the hips. So that's why I talk the way I talk, man. It's a West Side thing. West Side thing, man. A Rush says, background, have you ever heard of Eddie Fuse, Cold Cat? Yep, I heard of Eddie Fuse. He reminds me a lot of myself. Yep, I am familiar with Eddie Fuse. Maybe I'll get an interview with him one day. Appreciate that, Joel. Said peace to the chat. You out? Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off here in a minute too. Obi says, peace, Ram. Do you honor the Sabbath? Also, Shabbat Shalom. Yes, I do. Would you ever travel to Israel? Yes, I will travel to Israel, and I do honor the Sabbath, sir. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Twister from the West Side. Absolutely. So this is the West Side flavor, man. You know, we just do our, you know, we smooth with our shit. You know what I'm saying? Libra Gang says, thank you for your In the Shadows videos. Absolutely, man. Sometimes you need to come out of the shadows. But yeah, that's where we reside, man. We reside in the shadows. Absolutely. Sean Free Choice says, salute West Side, East Side. Absolutely. Salute to the West Side, East Side, South Side, and North Side of Chi-Town. Absolutely. Absolutely. E40 said, Andre Dick said, E40 said, I don't need iron. I'm already creased. I don't need no money. I got a mouthpiece. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's how we live, man. That's how we live. Marcus Love says, a snakeskin down to the floor, you dig? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know how we do it. Yeah, in the Shadows video, man, that's only for certain groups of guys, man. Not everybody could appreciate In the Shadows, man. But it's definitely one of my favorite series. And I got a part 3 and a part 4 and a part 5. So most high willing, I'll be doing those in 2019, most high willing. Dwayne Bryant Wright says, Ram, I'm starting to second guess the Israelite teachings due to Dane Calloway. Are you familiar with his work? No, I'm not. Tell me, Dwayne, what are you second guessing on the Israelite teachings? Are you doubting the validity of the scriptures? Are you doubting the validity of specific teachers and their teachings? What is it in particular that you are doubting? Inquiring minds would like to know. Obi says, them in the shadows are perfect for them New York rainy nights, walking through the streets with a drink in your pocket. Absolutely. Agent Machine says, Shadows video brought me here. Too much truth to recount. Appreciate that, Agent Machine. I put my heart and soul in that one. I put my heart and soul in all of them, but certain things are just speaks to me, and that's me for real all day in the shadows. Kevin Ramirez says, his woman won't do that thing for him no more. How do you solve this? Oh, real simple. Get you another woman. If she won't, get your woman who will. Simple solution. Listen, I ain't for begging a woman. I ain't trying to convince her. If you don't want to honor me in that way and want to please me in that way, that's okay. I never ask a woman for the same thing twice. Again, I never ask a woman for the same thing twice if I ask her for something at all. So if she don't want to do that, then you need to get out there and find you somebody who don't mind doing it. That's the best way to get back at that. The other option is you can probably beg her. I don't know if you want to do that. You want to go that low with your manhood. Cortez Smith says, would you consider yourself a Sigma? By certain definitions, I could say so. Certain definitions, I can consider myself Alpha. Certain definitions, I could consider myself Beta. What? Ryan say Beta? Well, check it out. I have a job that I have to go to. And in my job, I have supervisors, plural. Some people can consider that a beta position. Some people may not. So in some situations, as far as my job is concerned, that's probably beta. My personal life with the ladies, I'm alpha. And my personal life in other areas, I'm alpha. But I'm low key and laid back. I'm in the shadows. I guess that can be Sigma. So I don't fit just one definition. What up, Mikto Powers? Under J says, I'm Muslim. Have you read the Quran? Yes, I have. Yes, I have read the Quran many times. I used to deal with the Nation of Islam closely. I dealt with the Sunnis for a little bit. But yes, I've read the Quran. I've read the Hadith. Absolutely. Let's see. Dwayne Bryan says, can we prove that any of those figures in the Bible, such as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses, or others existed? Yes, we can. Yes, you can, Dwayne Bryan. You can prove that those characters existed, not the very older ones. I don't see any relics on display from necessarily Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But Moses, do you know that they found in the, I think it was the Red Sea, they found chariots in the Red Sea that date back to the time of Moses and the Egyptian Exodus? Do you know that they found King Hezekiah, his seal of Israel? All kings have seals, a signet, that they found that written in Hebrew. Have you ever heard of the Moabite stone that details a particular Israelite king? Have you seen the reliefs that were in Iraq, Babylon, that gave the story or told the story of the captivity of the Israelites and being led into Babylon? So there's a lot of archaeological evidence that substantiates the time, the place, and the people in this scripture. Don't have to believe me. There are literally thousands of articles in many magazines that publish periodicals on a weekly basis detailing specifically their archaeological finds to the people called the children of Israel. A fact. And these are writings not just from Israel and artifacts just from Israel, but from all over the Middle East, substantiating that such a people did exist. Think about the Hyksos that the Egyptians talked about. The Hyksos were Israelites. So it's a proven thing. It's a fact. So I don't know who this Dan Calloway guy is, but do not believe everything you hear. Do your own research. And here's the thing. We have to learn to be intellectually honest. If you're going to research something that's against something, research the pros and the cons. Look at both of them and then make your decision which one has the best supporting evidence. So when I'm studying anything, whether it be in the Bible or a particular thought, philosophy, or belief, I want to hear the contrary. I can say the Trinity is not true. Why? Because I've studied the contrary information. I've read about Unitarianism, then I've read about Trinitarianism. I believe that the Bible supports Unitarianism. In fact, I know it does. But you have to get both sides of the story, the pros and the cons, the arguments and the counter arguments, and be as well studied for both of them. That's intellectual honesty right there. That's what we have to do. Let's see what else we got. If you put in a question, if I missed it, just repost it. I'm going to go on for about another 20 minutes or so before I get out here. Maybe another 20 minutes. So if we get questions that keep coming. 10 Lions, 10-2 Lions, well, Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Let's see. Nino Giorgio says, what's my take on using dating apps in college? I say go for it. I say go for it. You got nothing to lose, man. Go on and get on them apps. But that shouldn't be your primary vehicle. If you were in college, you need to be trying to holler some of them girls in the school with you, man. You're only in college for a short period of time. Listen, when I was in high school and college, there's a lot of women I should have hollered at that I didn't. Man, go to that school and try to holler at everything you like. All they can say is no. That's all they can do. And no means nothing. So go for it. You in college, holler at all of them cuties, man. What up, George Washington? Holler at all of them, man. Let's see what else. Dwayne Brown. Yeah, I'll check out Dane Calloway's video when I get a chance. Definitely. Ajamu Bay says, have you read or saw the video by Horace Butler, When Rocks Cry Out? The book proves that ancient Jerusalem was really Peru. No, I haven't looked at that. I have to try. I have to get at a look. Jim Boy says, go for it. Tend to turn me into. Oh, yeah, go for it, man. But listen, don't let that be the primary. You in college, holler at the college girl first. Tinder's cool, but let that be a secondary option. Get on out there, man. Let's see what else we got here. Obi says, Ram, you checked out Chronicles of Judah. Yeah, very powerful brother. I'm definitely familiar with his work. I heard, I didn't know about him until I heard Solo talking about him, and then Solo kept mentioning his name, so I decided to go check him out. But oh yeah, definitely powerful. Got a lot of subs over there, man. I like his, especially like his sports commentary, man. Definitely love his sports commentary. But yeah, I'll check him out. 102 Lions Web, let me see. He says Coptic Museum is the oldest in the world, and they got the Negro Jesus and his boys' original drawings. I hear you, bro. Uh-oh, got something, a little debate, huh? Let's see. Yeah, it's always some alternative view. I say check them out, but of course there's always going to be some alternative view. But, you know, you need to have hardcore evidence, man. And what is the empirical data? That's what I'm about. It's about what you can prove. Not what you say, but what you can prove. Apostle for Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Would I date a white woman? And I say absolutely. Absolutely. I believe all women are dateable. Absolutely. What about you, Apostle for Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai? Would you date a snow bunny? I definitely would. Definitely would. George Washington says, wait a minute. George Washington says, history proves the Bible and the true nature of the earth proves the Bible, Antarctica, and the firmament. Mose Pierre with the super chat in the fourth quarter. He says, Black Ram, this stream was cool. Keep empowering the brothers. Hashtag Brooklyn Borough. Hashtag New York City love. Appreciate the super chat, fam, and salute to you in the Brooklyn boroughs, brother, my man. Moise Pierre, appreciate that super chat, brother. The fourth quarter super chat. The shot. Anthony Cummings, thank you for your super chat, brother. Says, peace be unto you, brother. My girl said, I don't know who you've been talking to, but you changed. Wow, when your girl notices a change in you, man, you know it's real. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good thing, man. When your girl notices it, that's a good thing. For sure. Everyday says, good evening, Ram, in the chat. I'm late, but I'm here to the end. Appreciate you every day. Better late than never. Apostle for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai says, I have one right now, but they close mine. Yeah. Use them for what she's to be used for, man. I mean, we in Babylon, brother, so you really can't get much of your spirit into them. You know what I mean? You just have to go with the flow. You know, she can't reflect you. She's going to reflect the world. But, you know, you take what you can, get what you can, try to enjoy what you can. You already know. Jim Mubay said the cleanest woman I've ever been with was with a snow bunny. Wow. They definitely smell different. Snow bunny smell different than the succubus for some reason. Don't understand it, but hey, it's funny. Succubus got a masculine smell, it seems like. Maybe it's that spirit. Absolutely. Mr. Brown, what's happening? Mr. Brown, in your avatar, is that a 1996 bubble Chevy Impala? Definitely a classic car right there. Definitely. So, man, we about 3 hours in. Still got about 250 watching. Appreciate you guys rocking with me, man. I try to do a live stream at least once a month. But Kevin Ramirez, do I? No, I don't. I have in the past, but no, I don't. Not currently, no. I've had a few of those in the past, though, brother. It's a beautiful thing. A few of those in the past, but not currently. The channel says Dan Calloway speaks about African Americans are the Native Americans only. He's limiting his ancient Hebrew history specifically to diaspora. Yeah, the channel, because there's archaeological evidence that states that the Native Americans are Israelites. I mean, there's a lot of evidence. I mean, you have Hebrew writings in ancient Americas, particularly right here in the United States of America. There's a book that I read, man, I forgot the name, but it's called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. The book, $1,500 on Amazon, if not more. Probably can't even get it no more. I think I saw it for even $1,800. And it took me a month to get it from the library. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. And it details the fact that the ancient Indians were indeed Israelites through various archaeological evidence and other historical writings. So if you want to check that out, Lost Tribes and Promised Land. Again, I forget the author's name. Slow read, but a lot of information, and it's packed with information, but you got to really cipher through it. It's not one of those books you can just go to a chapter and say, oh yeah, here it is. You got to read very carefully, and he kind of say things without saying it. And this is how you know the information is potent, because he try to not say it, but says it, but says it though. So that's a good book. A lot of evidence there. But I'm all for research. Let's see. Original Urantite says snow bunnies have succubus glands that makes them have a doggy smell. Oh man, I ain't gonna touch that one. From Babylon to Timbuktu. Yeah, that was a good read. I haven't read it's another book, Hebrewisms of West Africa. I have to check that out. I haven't, because From Babylon to Timbuktu quotes that a lot. So I'm gonna have to check Hebrewisms of West Africa. I'm gonna have to check that out, because there should be a lot of information in there. Najima Bay says Horace Butler's book When Rocks Cry Out also proves that what you were saying, Black Ram. My man, Horace Butler. I'm gonna have to check that out then, bro. All about research in the empirical datum. Absolutely. Joe Wash says, thanks, Black Ram. I'll definitely get that book. Yeah, absolutely, man. Love to read, man. As a man, as an alpha, as an enlightened man, you should always be reading, man. Always doing your research. Always. Should never have a time when you're not reading something. Even if it's not every day, you should always be reading something. If I have a conversation with an awakened man, I should always say, hey, what are you reading now? It should always be something different every few months. What are you reading now? If you ain't talking like that, man, I don't know about you. What are you reading now? Unless you know everything in the world, what are you reading now? Think about a book is, instead of you taking time to do the research, somebody's done it for you. All you got to do is check their sources. It's a beautiful thing. GMS Vegas sit down says Shalom Akim, nice off Yayan right about now, though I thought I slide through. GMS Vegas sit down. Shalom Akim, I appreciate you coming through, brother. Appreciate it. Kevin Ramirez says Black women, is it bad for a man to work around so many women? Only if you can't behave or control yourself. I mean, this is Babylon. This is what we have to do. But you should be not only well behaved because of hashtag me too, but very disciplined because of hashtag me too. And of course, you know the nature of the snow bunny, the succubus, and the Chiquita banana. So yeah, just be careful. Don't do too much. Be careful. Anthony says, try and find the book Hebrew is Greek. That's a book you saying? Maybe I'll check that out. Hey, Apostle for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hey man, we ain't beefing up in here, man. We ain't beefing up in here. It's Kwam Yasharala, man. Kwam Yasharala. GMS Vegas Sit Down is good peoples, man. That's my man's. And Apostle for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you my peoples too, man. Let's try to get along. Let's try to get along. All right, so what else? What else? What else we got here? All right, any more questions? Got about 10 minutes left. This Friday night. Had me some cognac. The books that I recommended was Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. It details the fact that the Native Americans were indeed Israelites. It's called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. We also talked about From Babylon to Timbuktu. Talked about that. China White with the super chat. You still here, huh, China White? China White with the super chat says, good live stream, Ram. I was listening. Great live stream. Happy to see you live tonight. Appreciate you, China White. China White still here. Much appreciated. Possible Yahweh Bashim Al Shah says, have me some Captain Morgan dark rum. My man. Aqua says, what's healthy to eat? Green leafy vegetables, man. And your root vegetables and your bigger vegetables. If you come out of the ground, it's good to eat, man. For the most part. Lean meat. No pig. No crab, no lobster, man, either. TK United says, read the book, Manipulated Man. Oh, yeah. Of course, I read that, TK United. I know you just recommend that for overall chat. But, oh, man, I saw that book. I read that book a while ago. So that's definitely a classic book. That's kind of a must read for this sector, man, of the tube. Esther Villar's work is key. So you definitely want to check that out. Definitely. Let's see what we got. Nappy Assassin says, The 10 Tribes of Israel or the True History of the North American Indians by Timothy R. Jenkins. I see you guys some readers in here. It's great to be among men like that. All right, Mr. Brown, appreciate you, bro. Ken Dog with the super chat, the fourth quarter super chat. And I appreciate the knowledge and good injury, Black Ram. Appreciate you, Ken Dog. Fourth quarter super chat. Actually, that's the overtime super chat. Definitely. Apostle for you, how about Shema says Black Ram make a video about man not eating good food. Okay. I'll probably talk about that on one of these streams. Talk about healthy eating. I'm not the most healthy eater myself, but I'm working on it. I am working on it. Mickey Bond says, what do you say to guys who try to get with women with children by her ex-husband? We talked about that a little earlier, Mickey. If a woman has kids, deal with it, but deal with it at a distance. I deal with women who got kids at a distance, though. I ain't living with her or her kids. The women I deal with, their children are adults, but I'm a little older guy. I just kissed 40. But yeah, man. Yeah, I don't see no problem dealing with women that's a baby mama. Just don't wife her up. Just don't try to make her your number one. I'm gonna talk about that more in depth. Matter of fact, since this question is the second one, I got the next live stream. We're gonna talk about that. So Mickey, brother, I hope you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button, because when I talk about this, I want you to be there and I want you to post that same question. It was somebody else in the chat asking the same thing. The next live stream, we'll go into that. Original Tight says, do I recommend younger women for an older Akim like myself. Yes, I do. If you really want a woman to be yours, and if you really want a wife, not legally, but if you really want a woman close to you, all right, you really want a woman close to you, you got to go as young as you can. Young as you can. I'm going to talk about that too. We'll talk about that too one of these last because listen, once she's like 24, 25, she's bitter, she's jaded, she's hurt herself, she's a victim of her own choices, and she's pretty much no good after 25. It's rare you can catch one 24, 25, 26. It's best to go, early 20s as possible. But yeah, man, once you get to be 26, 27, it's pretty much over with. Pretty much over with. Jim S. Vegas sit down says Black Indians by William Lauren Katz is a good read. Okay, I'll check that out. Everyday says your old video showing your library was good. I have several of those books. What do you think about? Wait a minute, I didn't see that last. I missed it. What do I think about Osfe? I never heard of that term. Never heard of that term. George Washington says, Black Ram, you ever heard of YouTube channel School of the Hebrews? Never. I'm going to have to check that out. See what they're talking about. See what they're talking about. Okay. Kevin Ramirez says, raising another man's kids makes you a simp. Yes, sir. That is the ultimate form of simping. The raising of another man's seed. And Most High willing, I will be dropping the video Stepdaddy Part 2. And since we in here, we got 229 watching still. How many of you guys have saw Stepdaddy Part 1? One in the chat if you care to do so. I will be dropping Stepdaddy Part 2. And also, on my Patreon page, I got a video speaking explicitly about stepdaddy hood. It's cheap, so go check out that video on the Patreon page, if you will. So I have a lot to say on this topic. And my stepdaddy video is a series. So part 1 is on my channel. Most High willing, I'll be doing a part 2. Well, I actually did a part 2 already. I do my videos in advance. I just drop them out about one at a time. I got videos that I've done back in August that I haven't released yet. But I did the stepdaddy video back in, I want to say September, maybe. So I'll be dropping that probably soon. William Majors says, Black Run 313, your material is amazing. Wish I had this guidance 10 years ago. I want to read the whole 1611 and 2019. What other materials should I have on hand to gain better understand? That's a great question, William. So this is what you're going to need. Brother William, you want to get a hold of a Brown and Briggs lexicon. Or you read the Bible, you want to get a hold of a lexicon, not a Bible dictionary. When you read a Bible dictionary, the Bible dictionary is sometimes biased. To give you an example, there's a Bible dictionary called Vine's Expository Dictionary. It is crapola. Because what they're doing, they're trying to interpret text by changing words and definitions. When you're looking at a biblical lexicon, you're looking at the word in the original language of Greek or either Hebrew and what it meant at that time that it was written, right? When you look at a Bible dictionary or a regular dictionary, you're getting a modern thought or a modern interpretation of something that's ancient, and it is crapola. So stay away from Bible dictionaries and get you a lexicon that actually goes into the meaning of the word. Most Bible dictionaries are crap. So that's the first thing. Get you a lexicon while you start your reading. And also, I think it would also be good along with the lexicon to probably have, I'll say, a notebook so you can write down scriptures and make sure you define each word as you're reading it in context. And also other study helps would be good, like the use of maps so you can know exactly what they're talking about. I would get the Zondervan dictionary so you can look up certain names of people and get a little background on that. And then for more advanced research, you will get a book called New Testament Backgrounds. You will get certain books that, how can I say, because you want reference material. You won't necessarily somebody's interpretation of text. text. You want to get into the figures of speech. You want to get into understanding the types of analogies that's being made, figures of speech like hyperbole and how that's being used. So you want to get all of those tools just to help your understanding. I go on and on about that, but that's probably the start. That's probably the start. Let me see what else we got. If I missed your question, just repost it again, because these chats sometimes move kind of fast. I'm trying to slow it down and read some of them. Let's see. Ajama Bay said you got to have some swag to pull an 18-year-old. Yeah, you do. But go for 25. Might be cool with that. 23, 24. It's a numbers game. Just shoot your shot. Dre Raphael says etymological dictionary. Absolutely. Hold on, let me see what you're saying, Dre. Etymology dictionary of the biblical and Hebrew, analytical Hebrew and Greek. Yes, absolutely. I've seen that book. I've skimmed through it. Absolutely. Good advice. Good advice. Jim S. Vagan sits down and says also you can use the Blue Letter app that uses Chaldean's Hebrew lexicon. There we go. Absolutely. I concur. Deacon Dan says, what do you think of Obama saying men are starting to get on my nerves that his speech he was giving where you think he's getting, well, controlled by his woman, Miss Michelle, so he's been repeating Obama's a simp, so he's repeating simp talking points. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Cedric Wiley says, when women reject polygamy, what's the best way to put a to put a bomb in her mind and make her think it through, because her ways at a moral anyways. I think I know what you're saying. Just tell her that's your desire, and if she doesn't agree with it, do it anyway. See, she'll go. I think I'm gonna do a video call. She'll go. That's the West Side thing. She'll go. If she value high enough, she'll go. She ain't necessarily gotta like it, but she got to deal with it. She'll go. She'll deal with it. If you believe that that's what you deserve and that's what you desire, do it. And if you lose it, so what? Get another one. Abundance mentality. Never get stuck on one, gentlemen. See my video called Catch and Release. Mueller Blanc says, can I make a video about the Jezebel spirit? I sure can, and I plan to do that sometime in 2019, most high willing. I hear you, T. West. But not in this world system, man. For the succubi to be gone, Babylon has to be gone. Original says, do we need our women with college degrees or not? No, I think sometimes college degrees do more harm than good. Because what's the education? What is your education? Indoctrination of this society? Now, of course, if you get a degree that's specialized, I believe that's important. If you get a degree in nursing or something technical, yeah, that sounds good. But I mean, most of these degrees is just social conditioning. If you look at the heart and root of it, look at the field of psychiatry. Most of that is philosophical and theoretical. Look at most of your fields is mostly theoretical and not really based on any real, true facts. So it's just mainly social programming for the most part. But I think that education in some areas is key and it's a good thing. But I definitely wouldn't discourage a woman for having a degree, though. I wouldn't discourage it per se. Is it necessary? I don't think so, but I wouldn't discourage it. Kevin Ramirez says, what's the most submissive thing a woman can do for you, Black Ram? The most submissive thing a woman can do for me? Man, that's a good question. I don't think it's a thing. I think it's an attitude, because it's a lot of things that I may want, a lot of things that I might even need. So I wouldn't say a submissive thing, but because it's too many. I need a submissive attitude. And this woman's attitude. China White did something earlier, man. I never heard a woman say this, and it was so beautiful. China White says she doesn't have a brain. Now, most women would get upset. Oh, girl, why you gonna say that? And you'll see that demon come out. But that's a beautiful thing. China white sister doesn't have a brain. Her desire, her mindset is her man's desire and mindset. What he thinks is what she thinks. So submission is an attitude. So once you have that attitude, everything is possible. And your woman is your helper. So the most submissive thing she can do is have your mind, and your happiness becomes her happiness. I'm going to say that again. The most submissive thing that a woman can do is that she can have your mind and have your desires, all of them, become your desires. A guy asked about polygyny earlier. A woman who is truly in tune with her man, this only can come from a young, beautiful woman who is open-hearted, and you got to catch her young. But this is a beautiful woman, right? This is what you want. And this is a unicorn. You can't really find this in Babylon. When a woman is truly submissive and your desires become her desires, she actually wants you to have another woman. If that's your desire, she will actually help you look for one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see what else we got. Charles Burris. Man, that's a touchy subject. People get real sensitive. That's a Patreon video right there, brother. That's a Patreon video. So I ain't gonna touch that one. Let's see. I got a super chat. Let's see. William Major says, hold on, I lost it. Wait. Let me go back. Salute, William Majors, for your super chat, brother. Now, if I can just find it, says, thanks for the info, Brother Ram. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. And thank you for being here. It's almost 11 o'clock here. We still got over 200 watching. Appreciate that. Let me see what else we got here. A couple of more questions before I go. Absolutely, man, is the head. GMS Vegas, sit down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Subjection. That's a great word for us men to look up. If you haven't looked up that word in the dictionary, subjection and subjugation is a beautiful word that you might want to check out. It's a beautiful word. Disco Ramen with the overtime super chat. Appreciate you, brother. And Disco Ramen says, thank you, Black Ram, because this is therapeutic, man. Your in-depth analysis of female nature all made sense. They want attention, any and all. Your attention on them sets you back on your goals. Absolutely, brother. You've been listening to old Black Ram and content like mine because that is the underlying basis of their nature, brother. For sure. Now, with Random Thoughts Over Cognac, it's kind of like more of a laid back. I ain't really trying to go too deep per se. I kind of try to save up for specific subject material. This is one of those things I do maybe once or twice a year, Random Thoughts Over Cognac, just to kick back with a little drink and talk about, not too heavy of stuff, but just, kick it a little bit, talk about a few things, shoot the breeze, hang out with my guys, hang out with you fellas, and just, chop it up. But hopefully in the future, I want to give a real detailed breakdown of the specifics of female nature, hopefully. So I think I got time for maybe one more question, and then I'm going to get on up out of here. What we got? Any more questions? I see you, bro, AJ. I hear what you're saying. Let me see. But we definitely going to do that video. The Zaza Ali thing, man, my thing is, the question is, did she intentionally hold the money back? She said she was intending to do it. It just was stuck in the pipeline. So I have a real opinion. I'll have to see if that story was true. I mean, they did say that the hotel accommodations had, rejected it. Maybe she didn't get back to her people on time. It's kind of hard to say. But let me say this. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, man. I don't really know a lot about it. I just heard a few YouTubers speak on it. So I don't know a whole lot about it because I don't really follow females too much. I've heard Zaza Ali speak maybe once on Sanetta's channel. And that's pretty much the only thing I've ever heard from her. So I don't really know have a lot of information on it, but because I don't follow that closely. This Rum says, thanks, man. Keep making them videos. Hey, man, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Absolutely, brother. Appreciate that super chat, Disco Remington. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you being here, brother. Much appreciated. GMS Vegas sit down says, Black Ram, you see that full-time consumer with Vivica Fox show? Actually, I didn't watch that. Maybe I had to go check that out. Tommy is the man, though. He's the most popular guy on YouTube for the most part, at least in our ilk, of our skin tone, anyway, in my opinion. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe what's the guy Brownlee with the couple of million subscribers for his tech reviews? Maybe he's the most popular of our skin tone on YouTube. I'm not sure though. Karen Mira says, is it submissive to apologize to your woman even if you actually jacked up? I wouldn't say it's submissive to apologize to your woman. I think it's the way you apologize. If you messed up, like, oh man, I told you, that the coffee was on the shelf. My bad. It's really on the bottom shelf. It depends on what you're apologizing for. Are you apologizing about who you are as a man? Are you apologizing about something that you messed up? Or are you apologizing about failing her expectation? It depends on what it is. But in general, no, I don't think it's wrong to apologize. I mean, you bump into somebody on the street. Oh, excuse me. So ain't nothing. We all make mistakes, so ain't nothing wrong with saying excuse me, but it depends on what apologizing. It really depends. Everything is about context. Let's see. Is it simple to apologize? It can be. I'll say that. I'll say it can be simpish, but it depends on what the apology is for. Like I said, it's a case-by-case thing. Mito Powwow says, who do you think is going to win the NBA championship? Man, you know what? That's a good question, man. If people ain't careful, it might be the Raptors. If people ain't careful, man. But I'm going to have to go with the incumbent. I'm going to have to go with the current champions, Golden State, because people look at them now like, oh, they don't look so good, but hey, this is a playoff team. And they're probably bored now. So I'm going to go with the incumbent. But I'm thinking the Raptors coming out of the East, though. And I would have to probably say, because all the top teams in the West don't look that good either. So I'm going to say Golden State and Toronto, with Golden State going all the way. I have to say that. What do you guys say? Who do you guys think is going to win the NBA championship? It's a great question. Mr. Brown said, they ain't got nothing on you, Ram. You speak that fire. Appreciate that, brother. Ajun Bay said, if you took her car and you crashed it and wrecked it, then you probably could apologize. Yeah, I think you could probably say that. But it depends. Apologizing is for your own integrity and accuracy, not for her approval. Ooh, do you see that wisdom right there? I'm going to say it again. Brother AJ says, apologizing is for your own integrity, man, and accuracy, not for her approval. And Brother AJ, I'm going to go with what you said. That's powerful. In fact, I was trying to say it that way, but it didn't come out that way. Brother AJ, you said it better. I said, if you apologize because of your nature or because of who you are, then you're wrong. But AJ said it best. AJ said it better. Apologizing for your own integrity and accuracy, not for her approval. Couldn't say it better, man. Perfect. Obi says, anytime you in New York, Ram, drinks a cigar bar on me. You sure trying to do the trip to the island next year? Yeah. I got a few loose ends of time, so it might even be 2020, man. So I can't promise that I'm going to do a trip in 2019. But it will be soon, most high willing. And if I am in New York, I would definitely look you up, brother. Yeah, she did. I heard she gave some refunds too. Oh, Zaza. I heard she gave some refunds. But no, Kevin Ramirez, if it brother AJ said it right, man, I would say that. New England Patriots for the Super Bowl? No, man, not New England. I mean, maybe Kansas City, maybe the Chargers. I don't know, man. I don't know about Corey Wayne's comment on Corey Wayne's content. Coach Corey Wayne. I listened to a little bit. It seemed like some of it is on point. Some of it is on point. You know what the thing about dating coaches? Most dating coaches are pretty good. I'm gonna say that. I mean, you got some that probably aren't, but most dating coaches are saying the same things about style. It's just like martial arts. It's about a style. Like I have a style. My style is documented in my game series, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I may do another series on that soon. But it's about style. So some people like Muay Thai. Some people like Kung Fu. Some people like karate. Some people like Krav Maga. Some people like a mixture, MMA. Some people prefer boxing. Some people like judo. Some people like jiu-jitsu. So it's about style when it comes to game. And you guys got to know that. Hey, this Black Ram here, man. I'm going to tell you this now. Pretty much all dating coaches are saying the same thing for the most part. The only difference is style. It's a fighting style. That's it. So you have to pick whatever particular style suits you best. It's all about style of game. And I got my own style. I think I'm going to start profiling that. But yeah, it's about style of game. That's pretty much it. Original says, can you speak on getting polished to pull younger women? Israelite style. Now, Original, let me tell you something, brother. That is something that I want to work on in the future. So, Original, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have a notification button, man, because I do plan on talking about that in the future. In fact, I'm glad you said that. That is something I'm going to take into account for sure, brother. So stay tuned for that, because we need game, but we need a certain style of it. And that's a great idea. Great idea. Absolutely. Ms. Brown says, find what style works for you. Confidence is what matters. Absolutely. Mick Topaz, do you mind people re-uploading your videos? Not at all. All I ask, if you re-upload my video, put the link to the channel. That's it. If you want to re-upload any of my videos, you can feel free to do so. Just make sure you put a link to my channel so they can come and subscribe. That's all I ask for. Let's see. I see you, brother AJ. I got you. But we're gonna talk about that one day. See, my channel, let me say this. My channel is not exclusively for guys saying, no, they don't want to deal with women. Appreciate that, Mr. Brown. My channel is not, my channel is a men's channel. It's overall. It's mainly about female nature, but I do believe in game. I do believe in at sometimes being alone. I do believe in having multiple women, but sometimes I think it's good to have no women. I believe in all those things. I'm about men being the best version of themselves as possible and being empowered. The world beats us up. And on this channel, I would like to provide a place where we can come, talk amongst ourselves, uplift ourselves, and empower ourselves just through talk. People say, oh, well, you ain't really doing nothing for the community. All y'all doing is just talking. A lot can come out of talking. How many guys have told me that the content has changed their lives for the better? That's the power of talking. See, we can't change the whole world, man. We can just change ourselves on an individual level. And this here is just a collective effort to do such. It's about change. It's about empowerment. It's about knowledge. It's about wisdom. It's about education. It's about confidence. It's about being a man. It's about control. And most of all, it's about knowing female nature and dealing with women from a position of strength, not weakness. That is my motto. If you hear somebody else saying it, they got it from me. Dealing with women, if you're going to do so, here's the thing. Men who don't want to deal with women, who don't have to deal with women, are the most powerful. If you can shut down your biology like that because you see that where we at is chaotic, like Jeremiah, don't take a wife in Babylon. If you can do that and say, you know what, I don't want no woman like Yahweh did, that's a beautiful thing, man. Like Apostle Paul did. Hey, I don't want none of it. My hat's off to you. I ain't got that kind of faith. I ain't got that kind of strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to deal with women and women. Continue to do it. But from a position of strength, not weakness. And if I can't do it from strength, then I won't do it at all. Then I can be alone because my integrity comes first. My principles come first. All else, second, third, fourth, fifth. Black Ram is stranger than fiction. Your channel? No, sir, it's not. Never heard of such. Never heard of such. Okay, what else we got? Disco Roman says, your videos help me detect female nature the moment she opened her mouth. Absolutely. Age of Machines, that biology is hard to wrestle with. This is why. Don't be mad, man, if I do some videos about game, because it's all to empower you. Yeah, I do videos about female nature. And of course, it's best not to touch a woman. GMS Vegas sit downs, Apostle for Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh side. You know the scripture in Corinthians when it says it's best not to touch a woman. You're familiar with that. Some of you guys in here are Bible readers. We understand that scripture that it's best not to touch a woman. We understand that. So I never say that's not the highest form of spiritual and intellectual and mental discipline. That's the highest level. To me, men who can silence that biology are champions. Stoics almost, man. Listen, champions, man. If you can do that, I just don't have a desire to do that. Again, I like strawberry ice cream. I like chocolate, I like vanilla. I like Keisha. I like Tamika. I like Tina. I want them all. I'm like Dawood. I'm like Somo or Solomon or Suleiman. I'm like those guys. I'm like Gideon. That's one of my favorite characters in the scripture. Gideon will cut your neck off and then go be with all his women. He was a warrior and a staunch polygynist. I am Gideon. But hey, man, Mr. Brown says, never lose yourself chasing women. That's the thing. The game, Mr. Brown, is to make them come after you. That's the highest level of the game. Let them expend their energy. Age of Machine says, game is necessary. Same scripture in Corinthians recognizes not all have that gift. Absolutely right. Disco Ramen says, background, 1 Corinthians 13, paragraph 4 on what love is according to the Bible. I haven't met a woman who demonstrates what biblical love is. And Disco Raymond, I'm sorry. That's because she can't. We're talking about the God kind of love. She doesn't have that kind. It's not of her. There are exceptions, but those exceptions are extremely rare. And guess what, gentlemen? Sorry to say this, but only a woman who's truly, truly in the Most High can actually give you the submission that you are looking for. It's very rare that it's that is not that way. At least voluntary submission. Now, other countries, it's part of the culture. It may be more of a forced thing, so to speak. But for a woman to, in this land of Babylon, for a woman to submit willfully to you, she may have to have the Spirit of God within her to do that. And if she doesn't, that means, if she can't, that means probably she doesn't. Because guess what? If the Spirit leads us into truth, then what is the Spirit leading her to? And the truth is her submitting to a man. So a woman who can't submit to a man, she can't have the truth, she can't have the Spirit, right? Not at all, because we know that the Spirit is true. But hey, man. But that's the only way, man. The only way. GMS Vegas sit down says 1 Corinthians 7:9 says, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it's better to marry than to burn in passion, as the scripture says. Absolutely. I see you, China White. 713 Media says a woman shows you how much she loves you by how much she obeys you. 713 Media, you are absolutely correct. Couldn't have said it better. Raymond Brown says the key is for the Black man to have as many solutions as possible, for him to employ philosophies that resonates with his values and allow him to operate from a place of constant empowerment. Shout out to the brother Wayman Brown. Appreciate that, bro. Outstanding. Appreciate that, George. But oh yeah. So yeah, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. So this is what this channel is about. It's about empowering us as brothers, man, and trying to become the best versions of ourselves, mentally, physically, spiritually, especially. All of those things, man. Reveal female nature so you can use it to your advantage. So you can squeeze with the advantage. That's a rap. Who I get that from? Anyway. But yeah, that's what it's about, man. It's about dealing with her from a position of strength. Absolutely. Anthony say he saw a succubus on your channel, China White. That succubus is always there, lurking. See, China White, you've having experiences with this succubus. She's a demon. GMS Vegas, sit down. It's a scripture. I believe it's in Syria. It says that a thought, we know it's the other word, a thought envieth a virtuous woman. If you got that scripture, brother, could you post it? I know I believe it's in Syria, Wisdom of Solomon. I'm not sure, but I know it says that basically that a thought envies an upright woman. So that's what the succubus is. If a woman is talking about submission and loving her man and bowing down to him, the succubus is going to come out and be against it. That's right, Women Brown. Triumph Wu-Tang. Absolutely. Man, Women Brown, you picked that out, man. My man. Man, that's a good one. I only said like 2 words, man. Squeeze with the advantage. Yeah, that was dope, man. That was dope. Disco Ramen says, Black Ram, how do you feel about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B being role models for women in general? I think they are role models. I think they represent the culture. Now, do I think that they should? Not necessarily. I mean, we know this is Babylon, so I'm not surprised by it. Babylon has to fall. But yeah, they represent the culture. So they are role models. They are who women aspire to be and what women are and have becoming and have been. George Washington said, I think it's Syriac chapter 26. I think it is too. Dre Raphael, I'm going to read that. There we go. Dre Raphael says, 2nd Ezra 16:49. Like as a thought envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman. Absolutely. That's it. 2nd Esdras. I thought it was Syriac. I was almost sure, but I was wrong. So my mistake. It's in Esdras. I thought it was in Syriac. But that's it, Dre. Appreciate that, Dre Raphael. Coming with that Apocrypha. When in doubt, Google it. Mr. Brown says thoughts will try to put down good women down on thoughts will try to put a good woman down to their level. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Syriac is definitely a book of wisdom, man. Age of Machine says my biology generally gets trumped by work and workouts. Keeping busy reduces biological impulses but doesn't eliminate it. Succubi sees guys like me. And I lost it. You see these guys like me as a cleanup man till Black Ram and TMT got me right. Absolutely, brother. No cleanup man. GMS Vegas sit down says Syriac 26:6 says, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. Absolutely. Grief and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. Absolutely. That is wisdom. Absolutely. Lionheart says, unfortunately, as a Black man, I must remain loyal to the Black woman, the Black family structure, and Black love. I feel you, man. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all. It says an Israelite, I believe we can have all of them, not just one. But I ain't got no problem with that, Lionheart. AJ says the succubus expect men to pick them over other women just because of their color, but the BAW pick attractiveness over race. Absolutely. She'll pick a fine snowman over a BM. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Giraffe says 26:6. Absolutely, man. That's good stuff. 713 meters says as long as she's an Israelite woman, it's all good. And that's rare. I mean, we know the nationality is Israelite, but they don't have the heart of an Israelite. It's very rare to find a woman that has the heart of an Israelite. The test of if a woman really loves her man, the test to see if a woman really loves her man. I mean, when I say love, I'm talking about the way she loves now. Did you all see the video when she says she loves you? So I'm not talking about the God kind of love. But the true test for a woman really is into her man is how she feels about that man having other women. Not accepting it, but how she really feels about it. If she says, oh, I love it because it makes him happy, then she all good. And she's really one with her man. If she says, oh, I can't stand it, then she may have some issues because that means her pride is still there. That means that succubus is still in her. That means she hasn't totally submitted. Imagine telling the Most High that he can only love you. What would that sound like? Well, Father, I know you created the worlds, but I just want you to be about me. Is that how selfish that is? You want it just to be about you? Well, you know, I know that other people on the planet, but I'm the only one that want to eat. Come on, man. Come on. Got to check that. Got to see. How does she really feel about it? That's what you know the heart of a woman. How she feel about you having another woman, that's what you know what the heart of a woman is. And if it's too much for her, that means she's too far gone. Because odds are that she's dealt with it in the past. And the only reason why she can't do it in the future is because she doesn't feel for you like she feel or felt for that other man that she did it for. Like I said, she'll go. She'll go. She'll get down. She'll go. But if she won't go for you, because she doesn't have that feeling for you. Women have deep emotions for men. I'm not going to say that. I'm never going to say a woman doesn't have deep emotions for men. A woman can have deep emotions for men. Temporal, though. Conditional, though. Temporary, though. But she can have deep emotions for you. But some ladies, because of their experience, their vast amount of experiences with multiple menses, she can't reach that euphoria again. She can't reach that emotional high again with this man because she's headed with man A through Z. So her emotions are literally burned out and she doesn't have any more for you. And you know when a woman don't have anything else for you? When she says that she won't do for you what she did for the man previously. And 9 times out of 10, she dealt with a man who had another woman. So if she can't deal with you having another woman, that means she's burnt out. She's toast. Women do have an expiration date on their hearts. She gets to the point where she's no more good in the relationship. No more good. That's why when you're dealing with women in their 30s and 40s, you're going wrong. It's a wrap. If you really want to do something serious with a woman, I'm talking about like make her yours or try to put your spirit in her, she got to be young. She over 25, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have problem, man. Man, you're going to have problem. She old, you're going to have problem. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. And is she an old dog? Anyway, too much cognac. Anyway, Simply Deep says, I think some women agree to polygamy for their own reasons. That's true. There's always some selfishness in there. That's right, brother AJ. You're right about that. 713 Media says, I've seen brothers debating the mark of the beast. What do you think it is, Black Ram? I think the mark of the beast is a technology. And I think the mark of the beast is the RFID chip because it just makes all the sense in the world. It says, without this mark, you can't buy or sell. If you have that RFID chip, you'll be able to buy and sell. They even have it now. They got videos of people going in stores, either using their smartphone or going to work using their chip. Using that chip. And using that RFID chip. It's a technology. And without this technology, certain things you can't do. 100 years ago, this technology wasn't there. 200, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, that technology wasn't there. Now the technology is here to put a mark on your right hand and your forehead. And with this, you can buy and sell. Without it, you cannot buy and sell. The technology exists today. Are we in the last days? You tell me. You be the judge. Man, I said I was going to be gone 25, 30 minutes ago, man. You guys got me in here talking way past my time. I guess this is what happened when you only go live once a month, sometimes once every other month. Do I need to go live more? Maybe twice a month, maybe? I don't know. What you guys think? I would need some topics though, but I don't know. So what else we got? Brother HJ. That's the RFID chip, huh? My man. Original says this 5G network would increase the market of beats. Yes, sir. I think the 5G is all about the RFID. Once 5G is fully functional and implemented and normative, then that's when I think you'll see the mark being rolled out in mass. They already got it in Europe, but I think it'll be rolled out in mass. GMS sit down says charagma equals implant and incision. And that's the power of using the Greek lexicon. Melanie Lighthouse says once a week. That's a little bit too much for me, my man, Mr. Brown, because I work a full-time stressful job. So once a week is a little much. I might be able to do twice a month sometimes. That's what I'll probably do. Twice a month sometimes. I wish I could. I mean, I wish this was a full-time thing for me, man. But I ain't got it like that. GW Extreme, what's happening, bro? Good to see you, fam. Salute to GW3 Extreme. But yeah, man, I would like to do this more often, but man, full-time stressful job and all of that. Jay Flower says the Latino bros are with you, Black Brown. I appreciate that. I actually do have a few Latino subscribers, man. My man Mike Gates ain't here tonight. But yeah, shout out to my Latino brothers. Salute. That's why I always mention the Chiquita banana, because she is like the succubus, but the Chiquita banana ain't as bad as the succubus, though, I can't lie. And then the snow bunny for my other brothers that's out here. But yeah. That's right, Anthony Lou. They're gonna make it so you can't do anything without that charagma. Drew Raphael says, you know Deuteronomy 6 talks about having the mark of the Father on your hands and forehead? Absolutely. And also it talks about in the law not putting a mark on your forehead or right hand like a tattoo as well. So it's against the law to do that. But yeah, having the mark of the Father, that's when you look at the book of Revelation, we will have that one day. We'll have his mark. Absolutely. SB Micto said, appreciate it, Ram. Just added vids to my channel. No problem, fam. I didn't know you had a channel, so I'm gonna try to check you out too. In case I forget, hit my email, blackram313@gmail, and send me a link to your video. In fact, anybody who has the channel that I haven't listened to, just send me an email link and I'll check you out. Original says, would you consider a live collaboration with some of us? Some of us are seasoned on game and scriptures and women. Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah. We can definitely do. It's been I think you're new to the channel, Original, because in my previous live stream, sometimes I open up the chat to anybody who wants to come in and just ask them to be PG. And the only problem with that, sometimes guys will come and you know, get too excited and get to using too much of a foul language. And I don't want to get shut down and nothing like that. So I try to keep this clean. And I like to use certain language. I like to say succubus. I don't like to say other words, you know. But yeah, from time to time, I do open up the chat, Original. So in the future, if you own, I'll definitely open it up to you, especially those who donate. Dre says you're going to start doing call-ins. Yes, Dre, I'm toying with that information. I'm trying to figure out what app or what I can do to actually do call-ins. Darwin Butler, I can't do live streams once a week, man. I work a full-time stressful job, bro. That'll be a little bit too much on me. When I get in here and chop it up, you know, I try to really let my head down, man. I can't do that, but maybe I can try to go twice a month. Maybe I'll look into that. That's right, Simply Deep. Absolutely. Melanie Lighthouse, if you did a show once a week, the show would grow exponentially. I believe it would. And I wish I could do this full time, but man, unfortunately, man, I just don't have that kind of time, man. Just ain't got that kind of time. But maybe in the future, who knows? All right, Mr. Brown. I see you, bro. I'm about to shut it down too. Agent Machine says succubus is a more accurate word. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Agent Machine. Succubus is a very accurate word. But it's about 11:30 here in the Shy. We're close to it. And I know I've been going some hours, man, long-winded. Big mouth dude, I guess. But I have enjoyed chopping it up with you, gentlemen. Most high willing, I'll return. Probably in January. This is probably it for the rest of the year as far as live streams and videos. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little YouTube break and hopefully I'll come back with some more fire for Gregorian calendar year 2019. Mr. Lemma says, I feel you, Ram. Content creation takes time and energy. Absolutely, man. Time and energy. And if me, again, I don't want to work on a full-time job. My job is extremely stressful. So that takes a lot out of you, man. So yeah. But in the future, hopefully I can do a lot more live streams. Actually, I enjoy this more than putting out videos. I like interacting with you brothers. And that's a privilege to me. Yeah, we know the new year starts in the spring, but Gregorian calendar says January. So according to Gregorian calendar, this is probably my last video of the year. Maybe sometime in 2019, January, I may drop a video. But yeah, I'm gonna chill out for a minute. Millennium Lighthouse says, invest in yourself, Ram. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Anthony says, peace, Black Ram and the Manosphere. Absolutely. GMS Vegas, sit down. Shalom. They keep it coming. I always look forward to your content. Appreciate you too, GMS Vegas sit downs. I'll be checking out your videos too. I don't always comment, but I check out your videos, man. I'm definitely subbed and I'm definitely listening, brother. Cortez says, Succubus, Nemesis, BT 1000, y'all fit perfectly. Exactly. That's how we got to do it. Absolutely, GMS Vegas sit down. Stay prayed up. Yahweh God, brother. Absolutely. Yep. So yes, 713 meter says Shalom. Yeah, absolutely. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. So all right, gentlemen. Original, Cortez Smith, Sean, Melanated Lighthouse, 713 Media, Anthony Lou, GMS Vegas sit downs. Appreciate you guys for coming and hanging with me at this late hour to the end. And I appreciate all of you guys, man. And most high willing, I'll be back to do this again sometime in the near future. But until then, gentlemen, stay peaceful. And hopefully I'll do this again. And yep, stay prayed up and stay read up and stay safe, gentlemen. And with having said that, this has been Random Thoughts over Cognac number 4. Only got through half of the material. So, of course, this calls for part 5. And hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. Appreciate you, George Washington, Wayman Brown. Absolutely. Edward Barnes, I'm about to go now, man. Next time. We talk about the Cougars next time. With FPS says, Black Man, when you come out with an audio book, you know what? I do want to work on a book, man. Just got to find the time. I have a couple of book ideas in me. Chapters already in my head. Just have to put the ideas to paper. Absolutely. Jamaican Brother says, Black Ram, this is necessary and therapeutic, man. These future videos are absolutely necessary. Absolutely. Appreciate it. All right, Dre Raphael. Well, gentlemen, that is my time. Enjoy the rest of your night. And until we meet again, this is Black Ram 313 signing out. Peace and blessings. Shalom, and I am out.